enough of me, let's get back to this gorgeous view. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Welcome to the Black Pew.
All of it. Two things people do. You can still maintain good cleaning habits and droplet.
Not, I gotta wear it on my hip if I'm having it out. And black man with a gun on his hip
Never looks
is
good.
just never a good look.
In Washington, yeah, it looks kind of crazy.
Even though it's the law, like
Even though it's an open carry, it is the most. First of all, we live in an open carry state. I should be able to carry it with no issue.
We should talk about that too.
I'm gonna get my FFL actually. That's gonna be what I'm getting right now, which I can actually deal to y'all. So
Let's do it. I told you can't just look for a pistol.
What's that?
It's a federal firearms license, so you can buy wholesale guns, and I can let's say if you order something from online, you actually have to deliver it to someone with the FFL if it's like an online gun thing. So
that's dope.
Yeah. So once I get that,
I might probably not be able to get that.
I mean, what you can do is try. You have to. I'm gonna go put in my application and stuff. Hopefully next week.
Yeah, but what's the requirements for that?
They do a background check, but it just depends on, like, if you got state stuff,
Or federal stuff.
probably not an issue. But if you got federal stuff, like, you know, there might be an issue. It depends on, like I said, it's violent crimes. And that
I don't have no state stuff. I actually don't have any violent crimes. I do have some, F's on my record, but
yeah, I mean, like I said, it just depends.
No violent crimes, anything like that.
Depends on the
And then for the $3,000
Yeah,
charge or whatever.
That's why I'm not worried about getting
the concealed
one on
here.
The state level
Yeah.
because I don't have any violent crimes on my. But
yeah, the only thing I would imagine that would prevent you would be, like I said, if you have federal level stuff, like I said, violent crimes.
I don't have no federal level stuff.
And maybe child support because they catch you for that on everything.
You know what? I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
They might hit me with violent crime because when I went to my first time ever getting booked in county jail, they put me in maximum security. And I'm like, no, fuck y'all put me in maximum security for? And it was some shit that I had on my record as a juvenile.
That's trash.
Like I said, I mean, all they could do is try, but
All you do is
try.
try. Yeah,
Try.
usually they will. Usually they'll say something when you're doing when they're doing the check, because if it's a firearm, it's 10 days no matter what.
Yeah.
So
and it's taking way longer than that right now.
Yeah, and you buy it, then they do the check, they hold the gun, and then they get a yes. There's like three things. There's yes or no, but the no, I think it's something about the no can be like you can
conditional,
conditional no, or just a straight no.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, if this conditional no, I think they go through and look at what's stopping, and then they'll just say.
No, I'm talking about to get my concealed.
No, that's for the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not hard. Like, as long as it's not you don't got anything federal.
Yeah,
It should be easy.
You should be okay.
Yeah, you should be good. Yeah, everything. I'm trying to actually sell colorful guns to girls. That's why I'm getting
Because
the
we
FFL.
buy them.
Yeah.
No, so we walk into not Cabela. It was the one on 72nd.
Bass
Pro.
Pro. Yeah.
And I was like, "Ooh, it's blue." And he looked at me, and then the guy looks at me and he said, "They all say that."
No, and then
And there was
three other girls that came inside after us, and they were all like, "Oh, I like that one. That's a cute color." So I'm
The same
like,
one that I was actively.
imagine if I can get off one gun a week just because it's like pink or
And
like.
it's like $200 more because remember.
Yeah, because
So I have a Glock 43. I like it because it's
Because of the
small and I
color.
can color. Well, not just the color, but I like it because it was small enough to hide under my tighter
no, I'm
clothes.
saying it's more because.
But it was because of the color. And so I got a Glock 43 because it's compactable. I can hide it under my tight clothes.
Yeah.
But because of the color, it's like $200 more. And I was like,
She said
Yeah.
yellow.
I mean, I
homie-
still paid it. But I was
So
Yellow.
my homie just bought a bag too, right?
yeah.
So yo, I'm gonna sell the bags together with.
He went and bought a bag too, right? And he pulls up on me. He's like, "Hey, bro, look!" And he
was just like-
got a black one.
Yeah.
He opens it up, boom, and he's like, "My Glock fits perfectly."
Listen,
That's what I'm talking
That's what I'm talking about. I'm so here for it.
Straight with like,
Said-
you got a bag?
So
You need a
remember
gun?
when we
You need a
were
gun
at
bag?
When we were at Bass Pro, I stuck it in my purse because I had a smaller
Yeah.
purse. I stuck it in my purse. I put it on my shoulder, and he's just watching me and let me do all of the things because that stuff matters.
And I would upcharge. I wouldn't let
That's
nobody know
funny.
they're on Groupon for $10.
Right.
I would, yeah.
Right.
No, we be chilling out here. Let me go check on these.
Oh, we
Thank
gotta
you for
go.
tuning into Black Pew Podcast. We got some gun aficionados now. All these people want to have guns, and I'm just sitting
Deal,
here,
man.
just innocent old me.
Just innocent on
Don't
me.
look at me like that. she
That's
looked
hilarious.
like whatever.
Whatever.
I know, right?
I walked out and everything. I had tears in my eyes and stuff. From
No, I started
laughing
a while ago.
Because I'm not crying. I was just having. It was a good time. It was funny.
I don't feel it.
Yeah,
Funny. That's some funny stuff.
sure.
What are you looking for?
Like, share,
It's on my butt.
subscribe.
We're having some technical difficulties.
We're having
right
some technical
now.
difficulties. What you looking for?
My phone. It's probably down deep in here. I feel like a abyss right here. Okay, I'll get it later. It's cool.
You sure?
I think the children are all right.
It dropped. I was gonna say it sounded like it dropped.
I did hear it too.
Yeah,
We'll
it might
get
have dropped
later.
in the
It's cool.
cushion.
If we be in here.
Well, that's that.
Show over.
This source of
Praises.
information is cut off.
How was everybody's week?
It was good.
Mine was long. I was tired. I was tired.
I feel like
It was
this
cool.
was a long week, wasn't it?
According
Yeah.
to Angelica, one of the moons is in retrograde. So
Who's
maybe
Angelica?
Shorty.
She was here.
Dark
She
skin
was
Shorty
here.
was in there.
Oh, I thought you were saying like
That's funny.
I'm like,
No,
like a
according to
Siri or
Angelica-
something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You're like,
Hilarious.
I'm like, that's some new like
That's a
oh,
new
like,
one.
new Alexa or something like
Yes,
that.
funny. No, but according to Angelica, one of the moons is in retrograde, so maybe that's why you're tired.
Mm.
Oh no.
Or you could just be
I don't
tired.
even know which one.
No,
One of them.
nothing to do with no boom.
You need
I
to
don't
you
know,
need
but
to
my
start
Jordans-
embracing
my
that.
Jordans is
Let's-
retrograde.
let's-
I
let's- the
One of
retros.
the moons is in retrograde, so maybe that's why you're tired.
I'm gonna really start embracing all that and learning number charts because girls really be into that
They really be into that.
for no reason.
Listen,
like-
it's a good conversation starter.
Oh, you like pasta? You must be a Sagittarius. That's crazy.
I don't even
I'm
need
like,
to know that. I don't even need to know that. All that. Just be like,
yeah, you're right. No,
That
you.
is so
That's
cool.
why.
That sounds-
You
that
really
sounds
want to
very
impress them?
interesting.
Ask them what their others say. What's your big three? And they'll give you their three top. You know, I think it's sun, moon, and rising, and then you'll sound real woke, and then they'll be excited for you.
No,
I'm
but
just saying, you really want to impress them. Hey, what is
but
your sun,
I'm
moon,
not
and
woke.
rising?
I'm so tired all the time.
Actually, I really don't care.
I
You gotta
struggle.
pretend to
but
care.
when you know a little bit more than they do on that end, it's like, but look, but what's your minor moon? Like, it's like you. Shorty's like, that's.
You should just confuse them. Like, what's your half, middle, minor?
If I gotta
That's
know all
hilarious.
this,
You
I
don't
will
need to
stay
know.
single.
Oh,
I was
just-
just.
You don't gotta
This
know.
is like this is too much. I didn't. This is why I stopped going to school. Like, cause I didn't want.
He said, I don't
I
want
don't
to know.
want to do all this learning.
Well,
like,
some
I want to
people
learn
are.
people, but not that way. Like, you
Right.
mini
I'm
moon.
just
Like, what are you
saying.
talking about?
You don't
What's your
gotta-
third son like? Like, come on now. You know what I'm saying?
Ask
30
them.
Rock. You know what I'm saying?
30 Rock.
He must really know this stuff.
Yeah, I just like I said, I used to do that in school. I would go and I'd read the Pink Monkey notes for like whatever book we were reading, and I would ask 2 questions in the middle of class, so that like the teacher would think that I would do something. I wouldn't talk the rest of the time. I'm
That's
like, so
hilarious.
Atticus Finch, when he went to the courtroom and he saw the people on the balcony, how do you think that played against? And I would just say something
See,
like
I
that.
use mine the opposite way. I would look at that, and then what I would do was I would figure out whatever system they were using, and then I would just do the work that they asked me to, and I would go to sleep. And my teacher would ask, "Why are you going to sleep? You done with your work?" Yep.
Yeah. See me. I
Middle of the
noticed.
lesson, though.
I noticed when you asked a good question, it just happened to
leave you
like they'll leave you alone. Like,
Like, he was
dang,
just
Cameron
saying-
really he
I
knew
was
what he's
just
talking
saying,
about. Yeah.
It sounds like you studied.
It sounded like
And
I
I
To
studied.
me, I look like I didn't, and they're just like, well, what are you doing? It was like, well,
I did
while
the
you're still teaching everybody, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just dropped some
Yeah.
knowledge about that. It's like, yeah, and that's why Huckleberry Finn, did whatever he did.
I would
Right.
just get sent to the office.
Oh,
You just gotta string some,
Yeah.
you gotta string some words together.
Like,
Yeah,
I'd
that's
be
what you
fighting in the
gotta do.
office.
And then
Like,
put
I
on-
did my work.
perpetrating a fraud. That's all you got to do.
Put on the black hat, the woke hat.
Yeah.
The one with the brim.
That's
Mine's gonna be
hilarious. Do it.
tired. The tired hat. It's gonna be collapsing in the middle.
We didn't-
Collapsing.
Yeah, we need to do
funny.
that. So what we got today?
What's the
Hang
topics?
You the
First
topic.
time. I
man.
know.
I gotta leave
What
at
do I have?
7. So y'all.
You ain't got to leave nobody, nowhere, no time.
You see that? You see the chairs in front of the door. You see how hard
I
it is
know.
to get out
You
there.
ain't get.
Yeah, you ain't going
leaving.
nowhere. That's what he
You ain't
said.
leaving.
Me and my little cute heels are gonna stumble out of here at 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
whether we
right.
done
You're
or
gonna look
not.
like AI was standing in front of you with
I
the
know.
double
She
crossover.
ain't got,
That's what's
she
gonna
ain't
happen.
got the glizzy
Oh,
on
no. Who?
I know.
Who?
We're gonna start with.
Who don't?
Damn.
We're gonna start with
Wow.
And it's easy reach.
AB and Keisha.
A, B, and Keisha.
Oh, so here's my thing.
Okay, please, thank you.
First of all, why she get that boy name tattooed on him?
After a
like that?
month,
After a month, and then he blasts her like that, like I'm single. So, I and it's could just be me. My parents were married 25 years before Dad got mom's name tattooed on him. And then they were married 30 and some change, 30, 31, before she got his name on her. And I'm a real firm believer in either not or wait until you're, but they've been married since they were 18. This is a bit of a history. I'm a real firm believer in not until we've been together for a minute.
I want to hear more.
So this was very interesting because I learned very young. My mom taught me from one situation, right? And so it was Andre Rison and Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Lisa Left Eye Lopez got a number 81 Atlanta Falcons tattoo tatted onto her. Right after that, he got traded to the Kansas City Chiefs. So that was the first thing, and then she burned down his crib to the bare bone and to the ground. And so you learn that some things aren't forever, but a tattoo can be.
Listen, and it wasn't even a cute 88. It was
it was kind of fire looking. I'm not even gonna lie.
But it was
that.
big.
So you learn that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everything ain't forever, but a tattoo can be. At that time, tattoo removal wasn't popular. Wasn't popular. You had to kind of find a dope artist that could kind of like rework that thing into something else. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now you get tattoo removal, which is very expensive.
It is expensive.
And it hurts.
And it hurts.
From what I understand.
More than getting the tattoo.
Yeah.
So question. So let's say if you're like
Do you know what happened?
What?
Do you even know what happened? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I heard of what happened. So like, I'm just thinking like, let's say if you're trying to prove something to somebody.
Ain't no proving.
But I don't know. I don't know how this works. I have no tattoos. If I get a tattoo, it's gonna be like the apocalypse and like Hebrew and Aramaic and all that kind of stuff. It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be like the end of times. But until that happens, I'm thinking
don't
like,
get a tattoo.
You saw it?
Don't get a tattoo.
Well, this thing now, if somebody
I'm telling you because your idea is just don't get a tattoo.
Well, that's part of it because like I had to realize that
Hilarious.
you can't overthink it. You're not going to be like trying to get something deep and meaningful. You're going to have a kid come up and say, "Oh, that's a cool circle." No, that's the navigational something. That's my third moon or my second ride. Like, and
that's my 30 rock.
Exactly. And I think sometimes with tattoos, we either treat them as like something super sacred, or people just say, "Hey, my body's an Etch-a-Sketch."
Right.
And I think you can.
But if I get a tramp stamp though,
well, some people
you get a full back.
I mean, so many things can be true. Some people are just freely with their body. They have a bunch of meaningless stuff on their body, like you said, Etch-a-Sketch. There's people who use their body as a blank canvas and it's art all over them. You know,
self-expression.
And then some people, there's super meaning. It's just everything is just has significance to it. Children, family.
So Marv, I got one for you.
So.
I got a question for you. So what about if Shorty comes into your life? She's dope.
No.
She got bread, and she's like, "Listen, I want you to just get my initials on a tramp stamp, so nobody else gets to see it, for 30 bands."
No,
just two initials.
Tell you why? Because I'm not gonna need a tramp stamp. That's one thing. There's not gonna be a tattoo. It's not gonna be a tattoo.
It's not her name. It's just initials.
You can tell you why is because one, I'm gonna have to use most of that money to get it removed.
30 bands. It takes that much?
No, it takes a lot.
No, it takes a lot. But it's like you gotta. It depends on how big it is. It might be like
let's say 4 square inches.
Like right here, like if I wanted to get this removed.
Oh, that's done.
Probably
if
like
I want to get
4 or 5 thousand,
it'd probably be like at least 5 to 10.
Yeah, maybe 10.
Oh, you still up 20, bro?
No, but it's not worth it. At the same time, you know why it hurts so much for tattoo removals? Because they're trying to encourage you not to get tattoos that you don't want to remove anymore.
Yep.
And so that's another thing. It's a whole. There's layers to it. But beyond that.
Amber.
Like she talked about her parents. My parents.
Yeah.
My dad never got tattooed.
Yeah.
He's scared of needles.
Yeah.
So but my mother, she waited until they had been married for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And she didn't even get his name. She used to call my dad her Ace of Spades.
Oh, that's kind of fire. Okay.
So when she got her tattoo, she got a deck of cards, and then the Ace of Spades was highlighted. And so that was.
And she could always pivot if anything ever happened.
That was her monument to her marriage to him. You know what I'm saying? And so.
And it's still a cool, and nobody's gonna question. Yeah, it's still cool.
And you, like you said, if something happened, God forbid, they started to hate each other one day, and they could despise each other.
You know, Ace of Spades is the top card in the deck. Yeah, you could.
It's my spades hand.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And so that's the thing, like. when you get names and stuff like that, one, it shows insecurity, not on just the behalf of the person that the name you got, because we all know Antonio Brown is at the highest level of insecurity right now.
Yeah.
But it also shows insecurity from the person who got the name on them because they feel like this is what it takes to keep you. It's almost like having a baby with somebody that you're not necessarily tied to because you feel like that can keep them. And so it's a bad situation.
It was all
bad choice by Keisha. I would think she was smarter than that.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
why
know.
she has shown you to make you think that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, God bless Shorty. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful.
No,
I
but
feel like this is this is the next step.
I feel like she was smarter than that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I'll give you that.
With him, especially with him.
I mean,
Yeah.
Miss Cole is from the town. You feel me? She has Oakland tendencies. She's gonna do some hyphy. You know
I get it. I get it. I
is
understood
what
that.
it is.
Right.
But that was
Not
like
with him
next
though.
level.
Yeah, I
you
didn't think it
feel
would be
me?
like with him or
If
something.
it was like, I could see like when she was with Jeezy or whatever.
Right.
After a while, like that happening with them, I could maybe see it. And she probably got his name somewhere on her, and we just don't.
Or
know.
if you just did like a snowman, where it's like, yo, if I got with Master P, you know, he's also, you know,
I mean,
ice
I
cream
get it,
man or something like that. I
but
don't know, Gucci.
with all the stuff that Antonio Brown's been going through, that has been throughout the media, showing his lack of loyalty to every. Check this out. If people are going to pay you millions of dollars, and you can't be loyal to that, how are you going to be loyal to anybody else? I mean, he went from the Steelers. He left the Steelers. The reason he got sent from the Steelers is because he went on Facebook Live in the locker room while the coach was having a heart-to-heart with the team and thought that was cool. They let him go. He went to the Raiders. He called the Raiders GM a racist. They let him go. You feel me? He went to the Patriots.
He's loyal to attention more than he's loyal to a particular entity.
But his track record. He went to the Patriots. The owner let him go. He turned on they all let him go because of his allegations. Then he turned on the owner and talked about his allegations at the massage parlor. And then they said they broke ties with him. He goes to Tampa Bay.
And Keisha Cole ain't got millions of dollars.
I'm just saying. He goes to Tampa Bay. They win a Super Bowl. They're on track to win another one. And he leaves during the middle of the run.
It's the middle of
the middle of the game.
Like,
Homeboy's different. Yeah.
So, but if you don't see all that, like, and say red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, he can't have a relationship with nobody.
Right now, at least, like you're not stable enough.
He's not capable enough to have a relationship with nobody. Burn bridge, burn bridge, burn bridge, burn bridge. He has a lot of construction to do.
And you can't tell me that she didn't see that. She didn't see it, first of all. And then question, because I'm pretty sure the person tattooing her was just like,
"You sure?
Are you sure?" But they
do that?
But I think with them, they can't.
They got to get paid.
They got to get paid, and to do a star.
So on one of your tattoos, did anybody say like, "Are you sure, man? You really want to get this tramp stamp?" I mean, you don't have a tramp stamp, but has anybody?
Let me tell you something though, because tattoo is considered almost like surgery.
Yeah.
Like they do a mental evaluation when you go and do surgery. They should do mental evaluation when you go.
That's what I was asking. I've never had one. If they're like let's say
they don't. You can go in there.
Well, I think it depends on the parlor.
It depends on the
parlor.
parlor.
My guy always makes us sign the paper. He looks at it. You sure? He puts it on. What do you think? You want a big? And then it's are you sure?
Yeah.
Because once I start, and he's done. They've done 4 of mine, and so we went forward. But I've also built a rapport with his family. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know about everybody.
So
I just know this is the ones that we deal with.
because it's also it's like a barbershop. It's all the tattoo parlors are like a barbershop. And so
that's kind of different. That's
the reason why I say that is because it's a bunch of artists. They're paying their overhead for the seat in the shop and all that. They got to make money. So
I get that. I guess my thing was saying it's something that's so permanent. Like you said, it takes a lot of money to remove it. Mind you, I've never had this, so that's why I asked y'all. Is that like you're about to put this down here. Like you remember seeing the guy with the lion and the lion looked like it had a stroke? Like, but it's like before you. I'm like, that's crazy.
I'll tell you like this.
Yeah. Okay.
I know for a fact. I don't know how to say it without putting myself out there, right?
Yeah.
But I know somebody right now who had my name tattooed on them.
Me.
Right?
Yeah.
I told them no.
Yeah.
Like I told them I wouldn't do it.
Lord.
because of my what I gave her the game that I was given from my parents. Like,
Yeah. Like, don't.
That's not something you do.
That's not
So
something
whether
you
we
do.
make it or
She
not,
did
it's
it.
just not something
Yeah.
You feel me? When we went to the tattoo artist, there was no question about, you sure?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Well,
he
it's-
drew that thing up, put it on her.
Yeah.
Whoa, and it's a done deal.
Well, it's like here, like
Jeez.
when you get a good artist, like
she
say
has
you
a
get
cover.
a good hairstylist.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
You get a good hairstylist. If Marv went to a hairstylist
I don't.
and
so.
said, cut half of it off,
Yeah.
some people would just say, let's go.
Some do.
And some
Right.
people would say,
Are you sure?
wait.
Because I was that hairstylist.
Because first they would ask questions. They would say,
It's just
hey,
a morality thing.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
what do you want?
was that
And they would
hairstylist.
say, how long you been growing your hair? There would be a certain point where they would say, are you sure? Because
Yes.
I don't
Because
really
there's a
wanna do
permanency
this.
that's
But
associated.
if you
Yeah.
go to get plastic surgery, or you go to get BBL, or you go to get it, they put you through a psychiatric evaluation before they put you through the surgery.
Yep.
And so it should be the same thing for tattoos.
But then
They
there's
should.
some places who will do a BBL and give you money off the BBL for putting it on your social media,
Of course.
and without the psyche
Of
eval
course.
and
They
all
should
that
start
shit.
charging for consultation before they
course.
do tattoos because,
Of
like, to
course,
me,
but
that's
I
wild.
guarantee you the fatality rate of them doctors,
Yeah,
because it's a very dangerous
it is.
procedure.
Well, one of them is, and one of them is slightly
The
less.
most common one that
Most
people
common,
have been doing
is
is
super
very
dangerous.
fatal.
Yeah.
And
That's wild.
That's too bad.
and you know, I'm pretty sure, I mean, some doctors are trying to get as much good publicity as they can to overshadow the fatalities they may have had doing that procedure.
So I'm gonna ask one more question about this since I have no tattoos. When y'all have gotten a tattoo, maybe not y'all, but people maybe that you know, is there like ever a point, like let's say you put something there that like indicated something in your life or like a person in your life? Like let's say you may have just put numbers down that were like, yo, this person was in my life at this time. It's not necessarily for this person, but it had a lot of connection to this person. Is it like just a humbling thing to kind of always watch? Like, dang, every time I like take my shirt off and I see like the thing there, is it humbling
What?
to like, if that represents some person that's no longer in your life? Is it like always a humbling thing when you take your shirt off and like
No.
I don't think people think that hard.
they don't?
No, it's just
No.
something
That's probably why I don't get tattoos. It's because
Yeah.
I
You know
probably would
what?
think about that. Yeah.
A lot of times I forget that it's there until people talk about tattoos because of
Mm.
the fact of I got it, the story behind it, and it's not like I got a name,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like I got
Like-
a lover's name,
Like
or anything
yeah,
like that.
Rhonda or something.
I
like that,
actually got a child's name,
Yeah.
and I was told that the child was mine. And then 6 months later, I got hit with a DNA test, and the child wasn't mine. And I had got the tattoo when the baby, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was different. So sometimes I don't even think about it that it's there.
Because you're just going every day,
But
day to
then
day
when
living.
I think about the situation, it reminds me of it. We talking about this
Yeah,
situation,
yeah.
it reminds me of it. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I understand the situation, and so, but did nobody say, "Hey,
Don't do it.
you
sure?"
You know?
yeah. That's crazy.
But and because of when I'm telling them, hey, this is my daughter's name, ain't nobody saying,
Yeah, they're not
oh,
gonna
let's
question
we
you.
ain't finna do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
And plus, that might stop my bread if I'm like, yo, I'm saying like, okay, you're about to go get a $400 tattoo or whatever like that, and it's like, now I'm questioning you on it. I'm not getting paid for a consultation on this. So if you're like, you know what, you're right, I didn't get my DNA test yet, and then you walk out the chair, and if he does that to everybody, he might lose out on a 25% of his profit a week.
Yep.
Right.
And
So-
also somebody across the
Oh, he said,
Mike,
I'll
that's
tattoo
why
that
you
name
have-
and I'll put her
which is why
face
you
down
have
for 400.
surgeons.
Yeah.
Would you have surgeons that do those
Yeah.
procedures and give money off because they know they can lose a lot of money if they start turning people down and saying, because if you think about it, most people who are going in for their surgeries aren't psychologically ready to have those surgeries.
True.
Yeah.
Right. No, true story.
I mean,
And-
they're adults, so like I said, I get what you're saying because, like, to me, like I said, I look at sometimes people who do that stuff, and I've had a couple of people who came into my life who do certain weird things. Well, weird to me, like you'll delete photos and stuff like that, and the reason why they delete photos is like, okay, well, this happened, so I don't know why you're deleting these photos, but it's like I don't want to have to think about that point in my life because
That's out
whether
of
it's
sight, out of mind.
out of sight, out
yeah,
of mind,
yeah.
like I said, but it's like a psychological thing. So I could just imagine with the tattoo for some of those people, if they. If I, it
you
would be a
don't
whole
always
different.
want a reminder.
You don't want a reminder.
See, the thing is like,
Yeah.
it's never it's forgetting but never forgot. It's forgive but never forgotten.
Yeah.
So you can put restraints on the situation
Yeah.
as much as you can, but there's always going to be things that remind you of that
Remind you or
situation.
bring you back, yeah.
What most people try to do is cut down on the things
That
that give them
remind you.
access to those memories.
Well, right, but like I said, again, out of sight, out of mind. So once you delete certain things and it's no longer ever present, then that means in a few months the memories get smaller and smaller until they're not there anymore because you can only hold so much.
Yeah,
now
so
as
it's
you
in the
build
back
more
of your
memories-
head, way back here.
Well,
You
there's
never think
things-
about it, yeah.
Right, until eventually. So now even when
have-
you can recall a memory, you no longer are attached to those feelings anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't thought about this for so long. So now that you brought it up.
You can, because
It
I
just
still,
depends on the person
like
and the thing
life
and the issue,
situations.
situation.
Of
life
course, yeah,
situations
of course,
usually-
yeah.
Life situations usually bring up those memories.
Right.
Yeah.
My thing is that you cut down on the access to those emotions, and so
Right.
like when you talk about deleted photos,
Yeah.
right? Deleted photos are like because every time because I have multi access to this thing,
Yeah.
Right.
So every time I go in here, I don't want to see a reminder of
Right.
this, and so I want because I have control over this. I'm going to get rid of everything that reminds me of it. Now I don't have control over life experiences.
Right.
I can go into a restaurant and something may happen and it can remind me of a past experience with somebody that I was trying to get rid of all that
Yeah,
with.
but a phone I could do, even like a tattoo. Like I said, I understand what you're
Because
saying. The
now,
tattoo is like
now we've brought it smaller.
Yeah, so like Amber said, it becomes less and less and less and
Oh.
less
But
and
now
less.
it's a faint memory and not a
Very
strong
faint.
memory.
Oh,
Exactly.
listen, and that's probably why people don't. Okay, that's
I
getting
told
deep.
you.
We have to go back to because that's hilarious. Now it makes me laugh about some stuff. But yeah, that's dope.
But yeah, no, tattoos. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shame on you. Like, no, I'm not going to say shame. It wasn't
No
smart.
shame on you, Keisha,
Because that's just not.
as a Bay Area representative. Shame.
Did you just have a baby not too long ago?
I'm
I
just
thought?
saying,
Did
though,
she?
with the
I
AB.
thought not really. I don't know. Didn't you know she had a baby not too long?
You
ago?
wildin'.
Within the last
I
year,
just wish she
think.
had more
Wildin',
friends so
Keisha.
that I could have told her like,
Wildin'.
yo, bro,
Man, you
that's
guys
not
said
the look.
she's from Oakland. That means even if she had good friends,
We
she
gotta
do what
move
that girl
on
was going to
because
want to do.
I
No.
mean,
She was going to do what
She was
wanted to
she
do.
was gonna do it, but at the same time, there's certain
she did a
things.
reality TV show with her crackhead mama Frankie.
Listen,
Okay, let's be real.
she's-
But I'm saying, but how many other decisions have you made that were
My mama know
stupid
Frankie.
a lot.
My
that
biological mama.
maybe a friend could have been like, hey girl, you had a long run of L's. You think maybe you don't want to take this one?
That girl was going to do what she wanted.
Okay, listen, I give it to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Because
nah.
she's trying to prove that I love you, so let's make it work. Because he flat out said, "No, I'm single," which means I'm sure he said it to her face, and so she did it to prove that she was a writer.
But I
And-
I
What
think
kind of sense does that
I
make if
think
you don't
more.
wanna
I think
hear?
he more did it like after they smashed and they've been talking for a little bit, and then he kind of faded. He did his AB where he
So get a-
probably
so get a
went
tattoo?
ghost. He probably went ghost. Well, she
I know
well,
what happened.
So get a
I
tattoo.
know what happened.
Amber, you know these girls out here, what they be out here
No,
doing.
but it-
Margaret Diamonds just came up with the answer. I know what happened.
Barbara Dawn.
AB's trying to do music right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So he's
sound
hanging in
good
them
at all.
circles, and
Mm-hmm.
they was at the studio. They recorded
Yep.
something.
The vibe was right.
Yep. You should get my name tattooed on you.
Back. I don't think he said
What I
that.
say in the
I
bed
think
is
he
not
knocked
happening
them
when we get
things
out the
back
bed.
and he was talking them sweet nothings in her ear.
Little
Because he
too
thinking he's
sweet
trying to
for
make
me.
his little industry connections.
Yes.
And she
But-
took a little too
And then
far.
But
Maybe.
okay, my
Now
question
until
about that
then-
is,
But hold on.
there's
He made organizations look dumb on national TV.
No,
Yeah,
you're
he
not wrong.
made
That's why I'm like, why would
he
you-
made himself like with the deal with him and the Raiders. All he had to do was shut up.
dribble the ball and
But
shut up?
no, all he had to do because
Facts.
he was making dumb statements.
No,
All
he
he had to
was
do
about
was
to make-
all he had to do was make. He was going to make $31 million
He's about to make $30 million guaranteed.
for. All you had to do was shut up. All you do
All
was
you
shut
had
up
to
for
do is
2
make
more
it to the
days.
season.
All you
That's
do
all
was
you
make
had
it
to
the
do.
season. He could have got dropped after. He could have got dropped after the first. All he had to do was make it to the season.
All he had to do.
was make
All
him
he
Can you
had-
roster
imagine
for the
doing like a?
season.
Can you imagine doing like a store run 5 years from now, and you're like, dang, bro,
Why?
I got $31 million, and I'm making a store run for the local drug dealer.
Right.
Yo,
I
that's
wanna do
wild.
I don't think AB's that bad off. Like,
I don't know what his
his
situation.
what
Well, you know
I'm saying.
Terrell
His
Owens.
situation-
Terrell Owens. They said he's only worth like a $500,000.
He's
Yeah.
bad off because he didn't do well with his money. Plus he has
Antonio Brown made
he has a lot of
money.
child support stuff.
I know he made a lot, but at the same time, when I look at some of these people who've made $100 million, or some of them aren't
Yeah,
really sitting.
But
bro.
see what happened
Right.
with
But if you
Antonio
don't
Brown,
move
his
smart,
stardom.
Move
Like
fast.
He'll always get a bag. I see
but
what
at
you
the
mean.
same time, what people don't look at is that this Antonio Brown. Why are we just now talking about Antonio Brown? Because this is real recent.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And this came with the fame. You know, see, at one point, Antonio Brown was really, really good, but he wasn't getting the recognition that we give him now.
Yep.
Right.
And so, with
press
all
is
the
good
money,
press.
he was
He's getting an
he's a lot
influencer
more
bag. Yeah.
level-head.
Yeah.
And as he became more and more and more prominent,
Yeah.
and people started to talk about his legacy in the NFL, then he started to act out a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, he became big-headed. And so that took him to another trajectory. And then I think fame made him crazy. A lot of people don't understand that, and I think fame made him crazy. And
It would just
we
suck.
talk about it.
Yeah.
We don't understand is we talk about the Facebook Live video when he went and he put his team's locker room on Facebook Live. It had never been done before.
Yeah.
People don't air that stuff out. You hear that type of stuff on a one-on-one interview or something like that, but you don't never get to see it for yourself. He did that, and what people don't realize is what social media, what the drug comes with, is the likes.
Yep.
And he's seen how many people was liking the fact that he was breaking a code.
Yep.
But so many people love that.
He broke 2 codes. One was the team, like you don't behind the curtain.
Yeah, yeah.
And 2, behind the curtain and the family, the NFL family, and also with the Steelers. The Steelers are a
Very secret organization.
secret, and it's us.
Yes.
We're us.
Yes.
So when you have anybody go outside of us and say, hey, I want to do me. I need to be making more money. I need to do things that aren't Steeler-like.
Yeah.
See what happened with Ben Roethlisberger? He messed up one time. They got him right back in line.
Yep.
And he had been in line ever since.
Ever since.
He made sure he was the best locker room guy. He made sure everything. He had one incident.
Yeah, and he had but this thing, he doesn't buy into, like, Ben Roethlisberger isn't somebody who's trying to be an influencer or could even parlay himself. He doesn't have the charisma to even do that.
But I don't think see, that's what people don't understand. AB wasn't either. AB wasn't trying to. That moment when he seen that people were tapped into what AB thinks and what AB says, it became a drug to him.
He turned into,
and he
okay, I
started
see what you're
chasing
saying,
it.
but like, yeah.
And so when you look at that, from that moment
From
on,
31 mil though. That's
but hold on,
stupid.
from that, look at it. He was very stable in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
From that moment on,
Yeah,
he's
started
never
wilding.
been stable anywhere.
Yeah, he started wilding. Yeah.
In relationships, outside or on the field.
And can you imagine that I'm going to offer 31 mil and you think that if you put a tattoo, yo, God bless her.
Think about it. The moment that he
Wow.
left, this moment, right? The moment that he solidified to everybody is that moment that he quit that game
In
with the
Tampa.
Buccaneers because he was acting like he was getting a standing ovation for doing one of the craziest things as nobody has ever seen. I've heard of somebody retiring at halftime.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
But that was something, the game was played. He went to the locker room and was like, you know what? Can't do this no more.
Can't do this no more. I remember
We've
that.
never seen somebody take off their equipment, run off the field, run through the end zone,
Yep.
trying to pump the crowd up.
Throw their stuff.
Delusion. Yeah, it was
You know, he
delusional.
likes these
It was
attention-
very
the
delusional.
attention.
Yeah.
And then he went on, and then he started rapping and going on tour.
And Kanye was trying to like help him make some like agent thing or something.
Crazy
some
to
weird-
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
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 Yeah. It's like business to business. Okay. Yeah, God bless them. All right.
what's
Yeah.
next, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about Netflix
What they
and
do this time?
how
Clowns. God bless them.
they're in trouble.
All right, what's up? Tell the
They-
people.
they
We
do
all share the passwords.
They say they don't like black people anymore.
200,000.
No, I'm just-
No, essentially, I feel like that's what they kind of said.
Well, they basically
Was
they
it
lost,
500,000 or 200,000?
They lost 200,000. They're projected to lose another 2 million next quarter.
It was like $54 billion in market cap, right?
Yeah, that they lost.
50.
From what I didn't know. Let me tell you something. I didn't look up the.
Okay.
topic.
So
I'd be trash.
So you
I
explain
thought
it?
Well-
cryptocurrency crashed, right?
Well, basically, Netflix,
Netflix
like
was worse
last
for that.
quarter, they lost 200,000 subscribers, and there was rumblings that they've been pumping up the numbers, and they're projected to lose like up to 2 million next quarter, and they've been like misleading like the
with their streaming numbers.
investors, with their streaming numbers
before they decide to shut it down.
But
They're not shutting it down. They're not going to shut it down.
No,
but
there's
got like 2 more episodes.
But
Just
when they
give me
made
a
it like
minute.
$100 to have a
Yo, chill.
He said $100. That's hilarious.
So they got it in the metaverse.
That's
You
hilarious.
mean,
I mean, but
It
it's
was
true.
13 when I started it.
Yeah,
like, come on.
but it's true that like there's more competition,
Yep.
and the
'Cause
competition
everybody has a streaming service.
is actually doing some pretty decent stuff
and charging less.
and
Yes,
charging
and
less.
charging less.
And they're talking about how Netflix might end up putting ads on shows and stuff to make it cheaper.
Peacock does it. I
They're
don't
done.
care.
They're done.
Well, I think that'll help
I don't
them.
mind little 30-second ads. It's whatever.
they just can't OD on them because
But they will.
Yeah.
No, they're going to. But
you-
I'm saying is like it's just like it's unfortunate just because it's like when you think about, I just think sometimes with companies is like they're so disconnected with like the general public and what's actually going on. It's like there are literally on Roku is like 3,500 streaming channels and there's probably about almost 150 like top level streaming like
Yeah.
Paramount Plus, Hulu,
Yeah.
ESPN, Disney Plus,
Right.
all those other kind of things that actually have original content that are like award-winning content providers. So why would you go and mess up something that you knew what was happening all to go boost up numbers? What you could have did is like, hey, let me reduce my spending and then go and do shutting a little bit more into my original programming.
But
Right.
so what people don't understand
Yeah.
is Netflix, for the history of Netflix, they've been having contract issues for the longest.
Right.
Yeah.
They get a contract with somebody and lose it. That's why movies were coming and going all the time
Right.
because they were getting and losing rights to movies left and right.
But more people were coming up with streaming services. So they
But
were
now
losing
then
movies.
that happened and
Right.
it's like and it just
So-
it's like it to me it was like how to be so arrogant to think that not only can you like flex on the average, like let's say I got a password and you're using it or whatever like that. I knew the prices were going to go up. So let's say I went from paying $14
I
to
think
paying
it's
Well,
like- I think
$17.
I'm
They
paying
got
like $20
arrogant.
now.
They got arrogant because if you think about it, their motto was the same thing as the Amazon motto. Because if you think at first Amazon started with books, Netflix started with DVDs, and
Yeah,
it was a
they did.
trade.
Yeah.
It was a trading DVD
Yeah.
system.
And they
You
mailed it
just
to your
boom,
house.
they send you the DVD. You had it for a couple of days. You send it back, you get a new one.
But
right?
it's almost like a like with you. It's almost like a college student though, because it's like Amazon. I do everything, nigga. We're not the same.
Yes.
You don't do what I do.
No, but
I
see,
do.
what-
I
no,
do so much more.
No, but what I'm trying to tell
Yeah.
you is from the ground stages, it was the same thing because Amazon didn't do anything.
Not very
It was
much, just
just getting books. And so what happened is that Netflix seen, people are going to stop using DVDs. Let's go into streaming. And
Yeah,
so
no,
they
I
went-
agree with you.
And so they went into streaming, right? But they didn't think beyond that. Amazon said,
want
guess
more.
what? Everybody's going to be looking for online convenience. And so they went from just books and said, guess what? We're going to start offering,
Everything.
for accessories.
They bought studios.
And
They bought everything.
yeah.
They did everything. And I guess
Exactly.
that's my thing is that it's a false parallel in the sense of this is that imagine you and I like talking to each other and saying like, hey, we're going to go and do the same. Like you're doing this. I'm doing something different on the same parallel. But I'm like, you don't realize I'm working with way more money, way more people than you, but you think that you're running alongside of me doing the same thing. And I feel like that's what Netflix did. And then there was a bunch of other
Exactly.
people did. And
No,
I was
exactly.
like, and to me, I'm like, why do companies do that so often? Because look at Blockbuster.
because they have no foresight. So
And that's the thing, it's
so
an issue.
Think about it. Amazon had foresight, right?
Right.
Where
Ran without a profit for 20 years.
Where Netflix
Yeah.
didn't have
Yeah.
foresight is that we can start a streaming service and we can go to these companies and say, guess what? Let us stream your movies, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have any foresight to say one day these companies are going
Are
to
gonna
be able
do
to
their
start
own thing.
streaming sites.
I'm gonna go to the plug and I'm gonna go get my own drugs.
Well, and then
Like,
they're starting to make really good content as well. Like for a while, Amazon was doing. They had the movies, they had the rights, and sometimes the rights expire,
Yeah,
and they just don't pick them up. But also, they had really
brought
good
a
shows.
studio.
They,
No,
they,
but-
yeah,
yeah,
they,
they
they had
started-
really good
yeah.
shows. They had
But-
Orange Is the New Black. They had all
Netflix
these
had
ones.
one time had Showtime.
Yep.
They had Stars.
Yeah.
But they lost the contracts.
Well, they
Because
probably
they
they,
picked
no,
up
they
the
probably
agreement.
expired because they and those ones because they had.
They were you
they
can
also
look it
had-
up. They were in the news. They lost the contracts.
Well, they
Because
also
started their
have.
streaming
Yeah,
services.
exactly.
Right.
Well, because
Because if I'm Stars and sure you can have
Exactly.
it. Well, you
Well-
know what? Now in the pandemic.
Well, yeah, no,
everybody
that's
should.
what I'm saying.
So
Exactly.
now I'm gonna start my own.
With-
and I'm gonna
because-
that's what Disney did too.
because
Exactly.
NBC Universal had the rights to The Office. and it was on Netflix for a long time.
Right.
And then when it expired, they said we don't want to renew the contract.
Peacock
We want to put it on Peacock. We want to keep it on our own.
How do
service.
you
Well,
not
like,
think that is not going to be an eventuality? Especially
Well,
if this
but
is my
but
business,
it's
if
just
content
like
streaming is my
Spider-Man.
business.
It's just like Spider-Man. Marvel has most of Disney has most of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But Sony has
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And so
it was because it was a deal done when they were broke.
No, but what people don't understand is everybody has now it's in this point where everybody's like, you know what, we're going to take the rights to our own content and profit off of it. We're no longer going to allow other companies to profit off the rights of our own content,
yeah.
right? And that's where Netflix got in trouble because what they were
complacency.
doing was using everybody else's content and not their own. And when everybody else got to say, "Oh, this is what all we have to do to," all right, this is what we're, and they pulled all their content. Now Netflix is trying to make their own movies, but they can't even. Their movies are crap.
I think
I
it
don't know
happened
about
faster
that.
than they were.
They're good, but they're
No, those
Netflix
are
movies.
good.
I agree with her.
They are good.
They have they have good TV series.
Yeah.
They have trash movies.
I don't disagree.
They have
Because a couple
some
of
pretty
them-
good movies.
No, a couple I've seen. I don't know.
but at
no,
this-
I think
The
it
Irishman.
happened-
The Irishman
I
was good.
think it happened. Irishman was way too long. I didn't finish it.
It wasn't too long.
It was
though.
cool,
It was like
but-
3.5
I think
hours.
what happens, I think it happened faster than they were ready for. So
Yep.
no, not even just
Yep.
the lack of foresight, because yes, lack of foresight. But like I said,
Mm-hmm.
pandemic came, and that because a lot of people were doing some streaming, but when the pandemic came, everybody started streaming.
But what I'm
And
saying
so I
is,
think it just happened faster than what they were prepared.
And they didn't
for.
see.
but Amazon
nobody saw
had the-
Disney.
But
No-
Amazon had the
Right. No one
platform.
saw Disney,
but
but
Amazon
until
had the
they
platform
did.
for everybody. So that's what I'm trying to say is it really didn't happen faster than they got comfortable.
They got
That-
comfortable.
and that's
they
the
got
complacency, and
comfortable
I would
because
say
that's
so,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. Jeff Bezos is never comfortable. They're always improving.
Never comfortable.
He bought
No.
stores.
That's why he's out
I'm
here
talking about,
eating
like,
on
you
y'all.
going to
Yeah.
Whole Foods now. That's Amazon own that now. And so that's what I'm saying. He never got comfortable.
never got
always
comfortable.
Is like he always like there's a market that I can always tap into.
Right.
Netflix was like, oh snaps, we got Stars giving us movies. We got HBO giving us movies. We got
Right.
Showtime giving us movies. Oh, we're good.
Which is
And
hilarious.
then-
Which is hilarious, seeing that like the reason you even became who you became was because Blockbuster. When we remember what Blockbuster used to be,
Yep.
Our Friday night.
like that, like literally
That was
going
the
into
cornerstone of
you-
everybody's
that's what we
family.
do. That's what we do. We would go there, and it was a whole experience. Like,
Yes,
okay, sure,
picking
should
out
we
a
get
movie,
this? Oh, this is
yes.
only a 2-day
Popcorn,
rental.
we
Oh,
went
I got a
to
3-day
snacks,
rental.
whole night.
Yes,
Listen,
the whole thing.
It was a whole thing. They had the opportunity to buy Netflix, and my thing was saying that. How do you think that in the whole cycle of business, especially with technology making everything faster, forget COVID or anything else like that, technology made everything go faster. Snapchat went from, hey, Facebook was like, yo, I'm going to give you $3 billion to do this. YouTube
In
got like,
Blockbuster's era, though, you got to think about Y2K.
No, but-
though.
but-
so everybody, so
Right.
people
They
didn't
not
trust
enough-
it.
not enough
People didn't have
foresight.
enough foresight for technology because they thought
there were a couple different offerings though, even after Y2K had happened. So my thing was saying is that you, as Netflix, went through a scenario and situation where you tried to sell yourself a couple times, even past Y2K, where, hey, this was the biggest people on the block, and they offered them that, and now I'm like, okay, yeah, now we're the big kids on the block. You don't think that can happen to you, bro? Like,
No, true.
it was just a level of complacency and arrogance.
Even
that I
though
was like,
Blockbuster
why?
still exists.
They have 2 of them in Sandy. One's in Sandy, and they only have like 2 of them left. Two
One's
stores.
in Pacific.
One's in Pacific and one's like in Sandy. Actually, I went there.
I just drove by it the other day.
There's only
Still open?
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's so crazy. I
yo.
thought I was tripping. I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
I thought
yeah.
I was
But
tripping.
it's more like a
Blockbuster Video.
it's more like a
open?
tourist.
Yeah.
It's more like a
That's
tourist
It's a tourist
attraction.
thing at this
More
point.
like a
You can
tourist
still rent
attraction. You can still
movies
rent,
there.
but
Yeah, because I went to
I
Sandy.
How
went-
inconvenient.
No,
Which
They
is
got
funny.
Hollywood
This is
videos
why it's
open
funny.
too.
No,
Because
Yeah.
it was
where?
Like,
Yeah.
we used to
I-
do when we
yeah.
were younger,
There's-
and now I
there's-
just think, oh, how inconvenient. I gotta return you.
in the Midwest, yeah, in
Like
the
in the
Midwest
States,
and the
have
South
it
and stuff like that, where you
In
used to have
Hollywood videos.
Yeah,
I
we
would
used to
never-
have people.
I would never-
You got Hollywood video, you got Family
Unless I live
Video.
around the corner
You still
from
have
you, I
some.
can rent from
You
you.
still have some people
I'd rent this
renting.
movie.
I would fly across the country to go to a Hollywood video. Hollywood video low-key was like
Of
more
course
fire
it
than
was.
Blockbuster.
It was
low-key.
It was a step up. From
It was a
Blockbuster.
step up from
Like,
Blockbuster.
It was almost like being in the real movie theater, picking out your movie.
Exactly,
You know
it
what I'm
felt
saying?
kind of fire. Yeah, no, because Blockbuster.
Hollywood
So
video's
I'll
fire.
tell you the Blockbuster. So I go down there. My dad, he had to register his car down in the DMV in Sandy. Sandy's kind of like close to Gresham, which is
Yeah.
where my sister and them used to kick it. So we go over there. I'm like, oh, there's one down there. So we go by the DMV, and I'm like, is that a Blockbuster?
That's nuts.
And I'm like literally, this is like 3 years ago or something like that. I'm like, yo, this is literally a Blockbuster.
That must be for older people. I said, because all I can think now is how inconvenient. Which I know at the time it was like the thing to do, but for me, I'm just like, how inconvenient now?
Because there's
Redbox is inconvenient to me now.
And I don't.
Yeah.
But
For
there's
that
people who,
reason.
but you gotta think about who people. There's people who hate using cell phones.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
I
you know,
I
older
get it.
people, yeah,
I
that's what I
get it.
Yeah, older people.
It's just
are-
interesting
not
to
even
think.
older people, just people who've been raised traditionally.
Traditionally, that
Right,
I'm in the
right,
same
right, right.
situation.
No, I
Yeah.
So it's
understand.
just like, they don't buy.
was
they don't
so
buy,
odd.
They don't do
I
streaming
get it.
and
It's
give
just
out their
weird to
information
think
like
about,
that.
right? And you're gonna
So-
take money out of my account every month, and it just randomly goes up, and all you get is an email and then charge.
And then one day you done buy the movie.
Yeah.
On Blockbuster Video.
Exactly.
Way overpriced.
Right.
$100 movie.
$50 movie. Yo.
That was the one thing that doomed Blockbuster when they took out the rental fees.
Yeah.
When they said the late fees. When they
Yeah.
said we're not gonna charge late fees anymore. They
People
was
stopped
like
returning movies.
that was like their still like
All bad.
67% of their revenue.
I knew people who
Why am I gonna return it?
Yeah.
Right.
I knew people
It's
who
fine.
who cracked codecs just to go copy the movies.
I
That's
knew people
hilarious.
who you would go to their house and you would see their movie collection was Blockbuster movies. You'd be like,
That's
you
hilarious.
didn't even have the audacity to even take
Even
the
try.
sleeve out. You
No.
feel me? Just,
We're
hella
straight.
Blockbuster
We're
movies.
good, player. Don't even worry about
Ain't
it.
no more late fees.
Goddamn.
It's cool.
They said any more late fees?
It's cool.
Because we're habitual line steppers, especially as a consumer. We're gonna push things to the nth degree. I just found out. Oh, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I will. Panera Bread. I have a coffee
love
subscription
them.
to them.
Yeah.
They said
They have
every
really good
hour,
convenient.
macaroni and cheese.
every hour you can get a coffee. I thought it was like every 8 hours, which I'm not gonna go back.
Wow, so you just be going to get
Stop.
coffee, bro.
I found that out yesterday. I'm about to get, yeah.
He's going to
You
get
about to go get a
coffee.
coffee?
Stop. Yeah.
Every
I'm like,
other hour, he's just like,
listen, I
I'll-
do that more
I'll
than I
get
work.
some
Did you know the
coffee.
Starbucks trick?
Was it trick at Starbucks?
After
Was it trick at Starbucks?
2 o'clock. I think it's after 2 o'clock or after 3 o'clock. It might be. I'm wrong. I think it's either 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Pastries are half off, and
Corporates are everywhere.
everywhere.
Even the franchises?
I think so.
That's dope.
And I think there's something
trying
with
this
the
out
cold with the
tomorrow.
cold beverages. Something about the cold
ones.
beverages. Well, I think if you
Because they expire, because then they have to waste them out, so they probably have to do it half off.
I think there's something about half off, like the cold beverages are like half off after a certain time, or if you get one, the second one is like half off or something. They bring the receipt.
Now the pastries, I could get with
That's
some stuff, but
interesting.
I'm with Panera Bread now. It's like
I
$9
love
a
Panera
month. So I ain't
Bread.
even
Oh my
tripping on it. I
gosh.
can get a coffee every hour. Like
worth it if
that
you're
saves
gonna
me a
do
bunch
Hey,
of
$9
bread.
a month.
Well, it doesn't start until like July, so it's actually free. But I go there religiously. I
Yeah,
go.
no, he makes a point
Yo,
to go.
yo,
I
I go
love Panera
No, you
religiously.
said, so it's free.
Yeah.
So I might cancel the subscription.
Yo, listen, ask her. Like literally,
No,
I'm
no, no,
finagle.
no,
Well, you
I
know,
already
I'm
know
going to
it.
Panera Bread to get my coffee. Oh, okay.
But
I
that's-
go to Panera Bread like it's a job. It's nuts.
They got good bagels.
No, they,
Oh, they
no,
do. They do.
No,
They
you
have
me tell you
good macaroni
something.
and cheese.
Didn't
Their
know how
chicken
fire.
soup is on
Didn't know
point.
how
I
fire.
love
I don't
Panera
even
Bread.
do that stuff. I
Never
just
knew
get a
how
bagel.
fire
Really
was. I
good
got one of
salad.
the macaroni and cheese sandwiches.
It's
with some
good.
Bacon on it. Oh my god.
It's good, but
it
you know
was
me, I'm Cameron, so I'm like,
Love that.
how can I do
So
DIY
what's
reparations?
What's the benefit of it? Do you got? Well, we don't
Okay,
talk
okay.
about
He
it
just
now.
gets
We ain't gonna
coffee all
give.
day
No, we
long
ain't
for
gonna give
$9
them a
$9 a
commercial.
month.
We ain't finna give them a free commercial.
I mean, listen, we might get a sponsor.
I know, right? I know.
Man, I
But
will sit here and eat whatever soup you need me
the
to eat on
subscrip-
camera.
No,
Go ahead
until
and
they
give-
until they
But
talk about a ching
subscriptions
are
are
Subscriptions
way
are the new
more-
way.
are way more convenient. I got the movie subscription is the best
It
investment
is.
ever.
I was thinking about getting an AMC
You
movie
can-
subscription.
Yeah.
Get that
Get it.
Regal.
The Regal one.
You could go see a movie a day for
You're
that one
lying.
price.
How much?
No, I'm sorry. You can go see as many movies as long as they're not together a day. So you could have seen Doctor Strange this morning.
I'm about to bankrupt the economy of the
You
U.S.
could
Stop playing
see-
with me.
You could see whatever movie you could you could see multiple movies a
It's
day.
like $25 a month. What is
you
it?
tell-
$20
I'm not
a
even about to
month.
give away my secret because
Okay,
if I
please,
get one of
please.
those, you feel
Stop
me?
playing
That
with
means
me.
you telling me that if I go out, I'll.
Look, come on.
So, yo,
Come on.
Marv,
Come on,
Marv, were you about to start another podcast
go.
on this?
Let's go.
Well, no,
Yo,
I'm so here for it, y'all.
I
cheat codes.
use it. I use it.
we're gonna
on-
charge a subscription to watch us talk about cheat codes.
I use it on. I use it when if I go out with somebody and go to the movies. I always use mine. For a
here
while
for
I
it.
had.
And you only had to pay one ticket.
For a while I had two.
You look like a boss.
For a while I had two. And
you pay for the ticket and snacks, and it's not even
And
nothing.
then it's all
it's
right.
not even nothing.
Because it's like $100 for snacks.
Exactly. And they give you discounts on popping popcorn.
Listen, and this nigga drove me all the way home with gas being $5 a gallon. He looked different out here. He's like,
He look real fancy.
he lived right next to Jeff Bezos.
She don't even know you got that R.I.C.O card. And everything. She don't even know that R.I.C.O card. Actually, and then you got to take her to the movie at a certain time because if you don't take her, if you take her too early, she'll find out if you got a R.I.C.O card that you got in there. You just couponed her ass. You feel me?
No, you just go up to the.
No.
You put your phone number?
No. Check this out.
No,
Because because they actually got a R.I.C.O card.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, but what I'm saying.
So you use it.
At AMC, you just literally scan it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying if you with a girl,
I
she
wouldn't
see
care.
you got the R.I.C.O card.
She don't care.
You sit in, and you guys sit in before the previews and stuff like that. It said, "Oh, get you a R.I.C.O card and tell you all the perks of it and everything
That's
like that."
hilarious.
And you gonna be sitting up there,
She gonna be
whole
saying,
time you thinking like you're a boss. You gonna be like, "He just got hella coupons." It's
Now,
a
if
whole
you pop-
coupon
listen,
Ain't
day.
no
now-
girl paying that much attention.
She ain't paying that much attention.
Well,
Trust me.
just-
Okay.
Now, if you
Okay.
pop out a coupon,
I'm
hey,
just
baby,
happy
here,
you
I'm
paid
do
for
this
it.
Make
like
sure
this.
she don't-
Appetizer.
You gotta make sure she
Okay.
don't see the screen because they have the
I don't
screen.
know.
They have the screen up.
With
With the
detailed girls.
itemized,
I
they
can't
have the
deal.
itemized
Oh,
screen
okay, I
up,
have to see
so
it.
it'd be like 2 tickets.
I'm not
and
dating
it
a
says
girl who
one-
looks that hard.
I am purposely trying to not look that hard, so y'all don't feel awkward. So you guys can do whatever it is y'all need to do. And I
As
don't
long as
mind.
you eat, we ain't gotta leave
What
early.
you
That's
need to
it.
do,
I just wanna
what you
eat.
need to be doing is you need to be out here teaching these single chicks on how to handle themselves
Yeah.
while they dating. Because
Don't
a
let me
lot
get
of
the
them be
price.
all up in the business. They
Nope.
want to know what you got going on.
Nope.
And it's like, it's overwhelming. It's like doing your job and having your boss looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to do my
I-
job right now?
I want to make this as awkwardless as humanly possible.
And women like to make things-
I'm
I think
like,
it's about
no,
to start going more towards that because I think people are realizing how tight it is getting for everybody. Because there's some dudes I've noticed, or a lot of girls who are realizing, like, dang, guys are
Do you
really
want
making me pay
You
half.
me tell you how funny that is that you said that? I was driving here and I was like, I wonder how many times you could be up in a store now
Yeah.
and meet a chick that probably live in 10 City.
Huh? Well,
It's starting to.
I thought about it. No,
It could-
I
it could-
thought
it could
about
be.
And the only reason I thought about it,
Or
is
living
because
on
I
her
was
girlfriend's
driving
couch.
No, but what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I was driving by and I
Yeah.
seen this girl and she was like in this nice ass
well,
sundress.
she probably works.
And she was
Yeah.
getting into a tent and then over there, and I was just like,
Yeah.
"Whoa!"
Yep, she probably-
No, swear to God. And I was just
No,
like,
no, I've been
and
seeing
it-
a couple.
and it went to
Yeah.
my head, and it was just like, like because I was thinking about like now when you buy a car,
Yeah.
they ask you, or would you be living in this car?
They
because-
ask that now?
Yes, because a lot
Oh.
when you go when you go to get the loan,
Yeah.
the loan officer will ask
This
you.
nigga's gonna give you a mortgage. instead
No,
of
the
giving
reason they ask you that is because now
Yo.
it's more than evident that people are living in their cars. They've just changed the parking laws. In
Yeah,
a lot
no.
of
Okay,
these places.
I think I mentioned that last
yes,
week. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
they changed the parking laws
Yeah.
in a lot of these places so that they just don't walk up and knock on your window because a lot of people are living out of their cars.
So if you answered yes, what was? Are they not allowed to sell you the car?
I
or
don't know.
I wonder that would be something
It might
interesting.
work
to know.
hard.
that
They
was
might
that's
work
not
hard
my
to get you a
that's not
loan.
my reality. So I
Right,
didn't
so
that
you
I wasn't. But
I probably would
but
have
I
asked.
They
wouldn't
Yeah.
might would work hard to get you a loan.
I didn't want to.
That'd be funny if they gave you a mortgage instead.
I'm just saying, I'm a black dude in a bank, and
Right.
asking
Yeah,
for a
exactly. You're
loan.
not gonna ask a bunch
I
of
wasn't
stuff.
gonna be
Keep on
questioning.
talking.
I'd be
Yeah, I
like,
got you.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to get in and get out. I didn't want to be.
Okay, so the
questioning.
AMC
I didn't
or
wanna
the
be
R.I.C.O,
talking
you
to
said?
underwriter.
No, Rigo, you get.
It's $50 a month or something.
No, it's 20.
Oh
Only
shit.
20 bucks.
And
playing
the
with me.
AMC is 20, and AMC you get like 3 movies a week. Rigo you get
And
as
those are the ones with the nice
many.
big seats.
You get many. Yep.
Yeah, Regal. It's over. I need you guys to talk about more
So
subscriptions.
Regal, you can go every day, all month, and probably see 2 movies a day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yep.
about to be a
But
movie
AMC has
critic.
the big seats. You want to feel real fancy.
No, but
No, Regal has nice
but
space.
more Regals, more
Yeah.
Regals have.
Stefanette, I know. We usually go
Yeah,
to AMC.
more Regals have the
I do be
reclining
going to the
seats.
AMC though
Yeah.
too, and actually AMC be having a cheap, nice recruit.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
actually
Big red
they
seats.
went. There was a one I went to that it was like more expensive to go into a theater that had worse seats. I was like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
AMC, and then I thought I paid for like cheaper seats. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
when
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going on the date, and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not about to just.
Yeah, ain't gonna
crack
do that. We're gonna sit in the way back with the smelly
yeah,
seats.
exactly.
That's what we're
You
gonna
feel
do.
me? It's cool.
Yeah.
And I went in there. I was like, oh, snaps! It's only when I seen it was only like the theater was only this big. I was like, oh, snaps! It's a small theater. No, they got the.
Yeah,
all
it's,
the
it's,
nice
it's
seats
called
over here.
intimate settings or something like that. They probably
Yeah,
want to give
I
it.
loved it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, and it was cheaper. It was like $15.
Yeah, it was. But next topic, I don't know which one I'm gonna go to.
R.I.C.O. I got that. Stop playing with me.
I was laughing when you posted that thing about LeBron. LeBron James's daughter.
Wait, LeBron James' daughter? What happened?
LeBron James's daughter took a Caucasian.
His son, you mean?
I'm sorry. LeBron
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I
His
was like,
his
Wrong,
son.
wrong basketball player.
His son.
Ouch.
No.
Took a.
Right basketball player, wrong
No,
time.
that's
Wrong
what I
time,
said.
yeah.
Wrong basketball.
Yeah.
No, because it's the other basketball player with the.
No, I know
with the
exactly what you
daughter.
meant.
That's
Yeah.
what I was insinuating.
That with the daughter.
With the
yeah.
daughter.
Yeah, that's
Cut
what I said.
that
I was
out.
like, ouch.
Cut that out.
That's why I said ouch.
But Bronny took a Caucasian young lady to prom,
What do we expect?
and his daughter, LeBron's youngest daughter,
Yeah.
her face was just like,
Oh, yeah. But I think you think that was more of a black woman thing, or is that just a?
It's a black woman.
That's a black woman thing.
So I'll tell you like this.
Yeah.
I dated a white woman.
Yeah.
The people in my family have never seen this woman.
Yeah.
they don't have to.
No. But they knew that I dated this woman.
Yeah.
I come on Easter. I got one person in my family. She don't like me. Why? Because he dated white women. You ain't even never seen
You
this
never
girl.
seen the girl.
Now, I done brought black women around that I've dated.
Yeah.
She still don't like me because guess what? I date white women.
Okay, yeah, that's a tag now. Yeah, it's a tag now.
All
Yeah,
it
I
is. It ain't changed. They don't. If they seen a woman around me, she was black.
Yeah.
But they know that they're the white woman.
Hey, I remember back in 1993, you dated.
It's crazy. Guess what? Too.
What was that?
She light skinned. So I was like, you mad?
Yeah.
And you only like 3 shades darker than the chick
That's
that you know what I'm saying?
hilarious.
Come on.
Yeah, because they be what's it like? What's your homeboy? Talcum X. What's homeboy's name? Martin Luther Cream.
Who are we talking about? I have
Who?
no idea.
Sean King.
Oh,
Yeah. He be going super hard. If you notice, a lot of the more light skinned people, they go super hard, and it's like almost like I have to like solidify my identity. I'm not saying anything bad. I'm not
they
saying
have
anything
to.
bad.
I think they have.
I feel like they feel like they
Some
have
do.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like God
Yeah,
bless.
but if they ever get a chance to have to play the white card, I guarantee they will.
Of course, because you're gonna play your opportunity anytime you can. If it comes to some real stuff.
So now we're
don't know
getting
about that.
now we're getting to the thick of it.
That's just
Light-skinned
that's a
people are
human thing.
opportunists.
It's a
Wait,
human.
wait,
It's a human
pause.
thing.
You ain't that type of light skin because you can't be played for
She
white.
No, I'm not
she
passable.
red.
I don't think you're light skinned though.
I'm
You're
not
just
passable.
She red.
normal
she's
black.
red.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Nuna's
She's
red.
It depends on who you ask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nuna's red.
I mean, she's light skinned, but she's like Native American kind of light skinned. You feel
I
like
give her that. Yeah,
Pocahontas
she
type
definitely.
of, like Pocahontas type of light
My
skinned.
Oma is absolutely white.
Ain't nobody looking at you. You definitely look like you
No,
a
I'm not
homebred.
passable. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I'm
exactly. You're
regular.
not passable light skinned. You feel me?
Yeah.
They look at you and see nigga. You
Yeah,
feel
you're
me?
right.
True story.
That's just what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Might call you a red bone because you
But
got different facial
there's
features.
some
But yeah.
there's some that are on the brink of it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can tell. Like black
My
people can
aunt-
look at them and be like,
My
"Oh,
aunt
they got
was,
black in them."
I can't-
But then
But
you,
if
white folks can look at them
Caucasian,
and be
yeah,
like,
I don't know. She look kind of
Yeah.
funny.
My aunt is passable.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, yes, yeah, I know,
My aunt
yeah.
is 100% passable. She got the green eyes from my Oma.
But she's more
But when
more
you
than
hear,
you.
When you hear her, when you
yeah.
hear her speak,
She more
Yeah,
than
you
you.
understand.
tell, right? But
Yeah.
but face
But
on,
sometimes you hear
especially now
some-
that she's losing weight,
She looks absolutely
passable.
Sometimes
passable.
we hear the blue-eyed devil speak, they sound just like us too.
And she
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
She ain't the
But-
blue-eyed devil all the way though, huh?
No, I mean she's German and black.
Yeah,
She's-
she's
but she's
you
passable.
just
But
said.
she's well.
Yeah.
But it's
No,
funny
that's
because
what
when
I'm
you
saying.
see
Yeah.
when you
say
see
German and black, you get
when you
1
see
ounce for
Amber
it.
or whatever like that, like I said, you know, it's very definitive what she is. But when you see her aunt, it's kind of like because we're from the town, we know what it is.
Yeah.
But like you wouldn't know if she didn't talk.
Well, it's like my mom. That's like my mom
Yeah.
and her sister.
Yeah.
My mom was chocolate skinned.
Yeah,
Her sister was super light skinned.
yeah,
And
She's
they
funny.
came from the
Yeah.
same mother.
yeah. I mean,
You feel
happens,
me?
yeah.
And,
funny actor.
maybe a discrepancy on the daddy. I don't know. You feel me? We
You never
don't
know.
know.
I've,
questions.
you don't ask questions.
A lot of these peoples is 6 feet under, so we can't. You know what I'm
Can't
saying?
even ask no more.
Can't
But-
even ask.
That was what it was. And
Yeah.
you knew that they were sisters, and you could look at them in the face and you'd be like, yeah, they sisters, you
Yeah.
know. But the skin color didn't
Right.
match up, and so I understand that. You
Yeah,
know
it's
what I'm saying?
always a question. Yeah. so-
Oh, what were we talking about? Oh, so I don't understand what I mean. So we have to think about proximity as well.
Yeah.
So because
Very
LeBron
true.
is who he
He
is.
goes to a
and so
high
he
prominent
goes-
school in
and
LA.
So he goes to, right, and so he's going to a school where he's predominantly white.
He
And
looks
so
like the ticket to the NBA.
and is.
And they
so,
know how to play that.
And
God bless them.
so the idea of him ending up with a white, I mean, it makes
Cater to
sense.
his every need.
Right. And I'm
Everything
sure.
that Brody wants.
Because
he do.
we
I'm
the
sure.
only. It's like
and would. Let me tell you something. And would.
But
Let it happen
if
me
you
and
think,
would.
but if you're,
Whatever that nigga
I'm
do,
gonna
just
look.
check
I'm
it
gonna
out.
look
No,
at it.
some
I'm
black,
gonna look
some
at
black
it from
chicks are
person-
probably
Okay,
become
yeah,
more
let-
wealthy.
yeah, let's-
Brody
come on,
says
Trey.
some stuff.
I'm gonna look at it from.
And would.
I'm gonna look at it from the other side. Someone who's upset. If you look at his upbringing, his son's upbringing and whatnot,
Right.
that you can see some people saying, "Well, you had a strong black mom, so why don't you date black?"
But that's the problem.
But
like
it depends also. Do we know their dynamic? Do they have a good dynamic?
No,
No, they have the American story for a family.
Like, can you say that again?
High school sweethearts. You feel me? Dad doesn't.
American story.
No, this is what I'm saying.
It's American
No,
only.
hear me out. Dad doesn't have like huge scandals and cheating on her and
Right.
all that. You feel me? They have kids and the kids are
Right.
very valued and strong. But what people don't understand is your kids are gonna be kids, and just because
Absolutely.
they see something doesn't necessarily mean
They're gonna
that's
do
what they're gonna
exactly
become.
Yeah.
right.
It's just like that. We don't know if LeBron and James has ever smoked weed, but we know Bronny has
But-
because he's
but
put that
also,
out there.
He's never said that he doesn't date black women.
No,
he
no.
just didn't this
He
time.
just-
And
yeah.
so that's why I'm like, okay, but again, proximity.
Can
And
we
so we're just
can we talk
assuming
about men
that-
too?
No.
Can we talk
Right.
about men? And I'll say this about men. So when a man deals with just a woman, he just sees and he deals with a woman.
Right.
I'm looking for peace where I'm having fun and all that kind of stuff. There's not a lot of depth of thought. How you guys always accuse me of like, yo, Cameron, you think a lot about this stuff. Most guys are like, listen, I just want to have fun and enjoy myself. Like, so
Right.
especially a kid at his age who's had all the privilege in the world, who's being raised in a very privileged upbringing. How many girls look like you that are going to be around me?
Absolutely. That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
I said
yeah, proximity.
Actually,
and not even just
that's
proximity.
not.
But also.
So that's not 100% true.
No, I will say why it is
And
true.
No, let me tell you why it's not true.
Please explain because
As what you're saying,
yeah.
the people that he does surround himself around look like his father, because his father's in a fraternity called the NBA. So what regardless of
Those are men.
Yes, but they have families, and these people
With white women.
and they have two. Not
Some of
all.
them.
A lot of them are white
But
women.
and regardless of what you say,
So that's what I'm saying. Race is not a thing. That's what I'm saying. As a man, race is not a thing for you.
Even if you want to say that,
Yeah.
that means that there's still black women.
There is.
So
it's more of a toss-up.
Time out. So regardless on that, it's not saying that he don't have access to that. Now,
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. You're not saying he's not having
I don't want
access.
to build a narrative that there's not like young black women.
There
And
are, but the toss-up. But you know what I mean.
No. Because I don't. Because we do know. Like I said, the NBA is a fraternity, and just as well as LeBron James wanted to be raised with a black woman by his side,
Because
there
of
are a lot of
proximity.
other men in the NBA that are the same way. We don't want to say that every man that gets a check gets a white woman.
No, we're not saying that
going
at
to
all.
Build that narrative. I'm not
Nobody's
going to buy into that.
nobody's saying that narrative.
So I don't want to also buy into a narrative that he wouldn't be brought around other black people, prominent black people.
Can we be honest about the fact that no one's saying that there's not access to that. It's just that when privilege is there, when money is involved, there are less of our faces. Can we be honest with that?
I look at the school he go to, and I look at the stands. It's not just all white people.
It's not all white people. We're not talking about the stands.
No, what I'm saying is we have built a society now to where there's more black prominent people in these areas.
More doesn't mean that there's equal. Because if I go to Foss right now down the street, there is more percentage of African American women there than going to a prep school over here. So my thing was saying, it's not saying he doesn't have access. It's saying that if I'm built into privilege, then there is more likelihood that it's going to be a toss-up. I don't care about race. LeBron James' son doesn't care about race. That's what I'm saying. It's
I
like
hear
most
that.
whites. That's all I'm saying.
And that's fine.
And that's what I said earlier.
I
don't
that's
think that
fine.
it's a matter that
But
he's not dating
I
black
don't want
women.
to.
I think it's ended up
I
with a
don't
relationship.
want to because then it becomes this conversation to where it's like we're only people here is that all he is and have access to white kids, and that's not
No.
That's not 100% true. And
No,
so
it's
I
not
want
true.
to, I as well as we know who LeBron James is, and how vocal he is for
Right.
social justice and social equality and race equality and
Of course.
all
No,
that.
we're saying that, yeah.
We probably know the type of people he surrounds himself around, which means that Bronny has just as much access to both sides, prominent people in both sides, and probably what would you say, high picks in suitors on both sides.
Of course.
Now, what I want to say is that there does become a level of comfort for
Exactly.
prominent kids when it comes to white women. Reason being said is because they're more raised to be catered to men when black women are raised to be more independent. And so, yes, to a point that you were making, I do look for my peace and my fun. And right now, as at the trajectory that I'm on, my peace and my fun right now looks like it's going to be right here with the lady that looks at me as an investment. So she's going to do
She's gonna do everything, and this is what that's all I'm
everything
saying.
that-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh?
I said, and I would. How
You
you want your
because
ticket? How
we
you-
already because we know you. That's
But
different.
I don't think I don't think the best woman
and
for
just
him
actually-
would.
But this
Because the best woman for him would be more, because I don't think Savannah was like that for LeBron.
Savannah was different though.
But LeBron was different though too, though. And I just say that
LeBron knew he was different too,
right.
and Savannah
so-
knew he was
but
different.
But you got to remember now, LeBron's upbringing compared to Bronny's upbringing
Is
different.
way
Totally
So it's
different.
Yeah,
different.
totally.
And so because of that, of course,
He's
like,
more
the
mindful.
Proximity, and though I understand what you're saying, I guess he had us have access to the highest of highs of both. But because of proximity, LeBron was able to get with the Savannah
Not
just
necess-
because this is how I grew up. Whether you remind me of my mom or don't or whatever the case, you're familiar for me. Now here I hear.
And
what
she was
you're
down
saying.
as
I can
crap.
tell you
Right,
the,
yeah,
the
it's
only reason
right.
I can tell you it's
So-
different. The only reason I can tell you that the two things could be different, but the thing can be the same is because everybody knew that LeBron James was it.
Right.
Everybody. So regardless on what his past looked like
Yeah.
and how his upbringing knew, everybody knew he was a ticket.
But he was
But it
He
doesn't.
picks who
But it
he
doesn't
wants.
matter because I'll tell you right now. To next to what he said, I know people that I grew up with, that I played basketball with, that I've seen, that I played sports with. When people knew that they were the ticket, a lot of times the white girls would come around
Right.
and make themselves a lot more accessible.
But they weren't
and
as
do
smart as
everything they
LeBron
need.
James.
No,
Right.
but regardless of what you can't
Yeah.
say.
No, but I'm saying-
you don't know how old a 17-year-old smart LeBron James was. Did nobody know?
Forethought.
We
I'm not
no,
saying what I'm
we
saying
don't-
is
we don't know
forethought.
how much forethought
Yes,
he
he
had.
did. He knew.
We don't. He knew. But
He
we
knew. That's
don't
what I'm
know.
saying. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yes,
like he
but what I'm
knew.
saying- But us talking from the outside in, we don't know. So what I'm saying is, looking from the outside in, him being a superstar, him being on the cover of Slam magazine, him being on all these covers. People.
Oh,
call him
everybody
the-
was talking,
No,
of
what I'm
course,
saying,
yeah.
People call him the chosen one. Him having a shoe before he even played an
Yes.
NBA basketball game, which means that people will be coming out. Look what happened to Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson changed up as soon as he got to the NFL. He was married. Ooh, they
And
had some
she
stuff
was-
going on.
yeah, she
but
was
whatever.
kinda- she was
he
doing
was
a lot.
married. Everything changed. And so what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, when you become a ticket, whatever foresight you think you may have, when you know you finna have access to money, things change. And so
course.
that's-
No,
I don't
we're
wanna
not saying
say that.
things
I just
change,
want to say, yes, he probably was a smarter man than Bronny was. But at this age, at
'Cause
this
he had to be, yeah.
situation, because he's been there and
Yeah.
he knows what it's like to be the ticket,
Yeah.
he has everything that it takes to give Bronny the tools. And so Bronny has more of an advantage than LeBron had. Because not
Absolutely.
only does he have the access to all the resources,
Absolutely.
he actually has somebody who has the cheat code to the whole thing.
Right.
And so I don't want to say that it may sound like I think you guys are disagreeing. I hear one thing, but at the same time, I'm saying that I don't think that Bronny, even though situations are different, I think they have a lot of the same similarities when it comes to the access that people may want to have to you and the temptations it can be to making a bad decision.
I'm talking
when
specific.
it comes to relationship.
I think it's talking specifically to the history because this is the thing. My son will never have to think about certain things that I had to think about because of where I came from. And because of that, though we may have had similar access, I believe LeBron James specifically with Savannah and knowing who he was, because let's be 100% real, Bronny's dope and he's cool. But I remember hearing about LeBron James when that nigga was 12.
Of course.
Yeah. So now going with that, I think being his history in poverty, all this other kind of things, there was so much more influencing or informing his decision on who he was going to pick, more than just being an investor. We've all seen he got game.
You think that LeBron really had a history in poverty?
Yes.
Whatever.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, but I'm.
No,
what I'm
one thing.
whether
he went to a private school.
okay. What is okay?
No.
I can talk. No, I'll talk. I can talk. Can I talk? Okay, cool. So this is what happens. I can have every dollar in the world. I can be okay. It costs money. I didn't pay a dime to go to a private school. What happened was that I can have $1 million drop into my lap right now. If poverty is what informed me, it's going to inform every decision that I had. So new money, that's why we call it new money and we call it old money. He had new money. He knew that his mom went through this. I went through Akron. I went through all these kind of things. So I have more things over here influencing my decision as opposed to my son who was born in privilege. Like I want my son. I think we all want our children to be born in a certain level of privilege so they won't even have to think about certain things. LeBron James' son is here and he no longer has to think about that. He has access to this. He has his dad who can give him game on this other kind of stuff. He's not going to care about the same exact things that his dad cared about because I didn't have to go through the same experience. So that is different. So that's what I'm saying. It's
Not
like no problem.
He had money since birth. I give you that. LeBron James has always been protected by people with money ever since they realized his talent. They realized that at a young age. That's why you knew who he was at 12 before social media was even prominent. But regardless of what you want to say, it's just like, right, if we wanted to talk about anything, it's just like with the Nick Saban thing that just happened and how him talking about this NIL deal and how these schools are paying for kids and stuff like that. But now a new light's being shined on old St. Nick on how they've been acquiring talent for a long time because all they have to say
coaching on his block.
No, all they have to say is a young black man is, oh, guess what? You want me to come to your school? Well, guess what? Buy my mama a house. And all that type of thing. So
now someone else is doing it.
No, that's what I'm saying. And so people been doing this I knew guys who were in high school that were getting paid to go to school then.
They bust kids out all of the time.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. So that when you talk about poverty or poverty mindset, yeah, maybe at one point, but before they became a professional, they weren't living in poverty. So at this time, at this point in their lives, the access that LeBron has and the access that Bronny has, just because LeBron James is his dad, people don't know who the name was behind LeBron James, but he had the same type of access.
But it's still a different access. Because like I said, they bust kids out all the time when they see talent. And so then you do have access to some of these schools, but that doesn't mean that you still aren't coming home to maybe out of shack.
No, you're not.
So even if they come,
you're not.
It's still
I'm trying to tell you, you're not. I'm trying to help you guys understand. You're not.
It's still
not.
But it's still different than being born into money.
It is different. No, there is a difference.
And like you said,
but the mindset.
But we don't understand whatever it was he's seen even before he started getting taken care of, because there's a 5 before he started before he started realizing he had talent. There's still 6 years old. There's still 7 years old. There's still all of these ages prior to the privilege that came with being talented. And so you never know how that can scar someone enough. And it doesn't necessarily the same as in general. How that can put enough on someone to where now their decisions later are influenced differently.
I just disagreed about that. I disagreed about
So though I understand, like you said, no, once someone sees, oh, he has talent, he's going somewhere, I'm taking him in, I'll house his mom, whatever the case, there's still all of these years prior to that where I did see mom struggle or whatever the case that are now going to influence the way I do things differently, because he didn't just come out and people just started taking care of him. They had to realize at 12 or whenever.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you pay very close attention to children's sports, I'm not going to tell you, I won't say middle school, I'm going to tell high school, children's sports, they know very early who's separate from the rest.
They do.
And I will tell you right now, look at the resources that little kid gets. Look at the resources. Look at how people. Look at how many people help that person's mother out. And so from the very beginning, that person understands that the resources that they have at their disposal is plethora to everybody else. LeBron James knew at a young age that the resources that he had were different from the rest that everybody has, just as well his son does.
At the same time,
seeing that you have talent and paying for your cleats doesn't change what you go home.
No, it's not just it's not just paying for your cleats. It's getting your parents and your mom a new car so she can get you back and forth to practice, helping you guys get into a new housing.
First game, yes.
No, it's not.
When we 3-4 seasons in and I see it. When you're old enough and I can see it. But I'm talking.
All that matters is it happens before you become before when you become to a level to where you're at a maturation stage to where you can understand all that. And if it's happening before that and you're groomed into that, yeah, you want LeBron James is LeBron James didn't humbly accept the chosen one because he knew and that's what I'm saying. It's just like he knew, everyone around him knew. I knew, and I didn't even live in Akron, Ohio. I lived in California, and we all knew that he was.
So fine, he wasn't born in poverty. He had the silver spoon his whole life. Fine, cool. That doesn't change the fact that his son spoon went from silver to gold, and it doesn't change the fact that their proximity is still.
I'm
just
saying it's similar.
So I understand.
I'm just saying it's similar.
It's not. We're talking
similar.
millions of dollars to a couple $1,000.
Yeah, I don't think it's similar because
the amount of money. That's what I'm saying. When you talk about inflation, the amount of money that people make, people weren't making that amount of money then when he was coming in. Now, so yes, of course the money is bigger.
But if you look,
$100,000 then was more than it is now.
But if you look at it,
of course.
But if you look at,
the deals were different. The TV deals were different. All that stuff is different.
But if you,
so it's almost the same.
It's not.
Yes,
it can.
is.
Okay. First of all, let's look. If we just look at basic math. A lot of people were not traveling across the country to see a lot of people. Maybe some. There might have been some. There were some people I knew from Michigan who were going down to Akron to see LeBron play. But in 2022,
but you didn't have to. Because he was playing, and that's what I'm trying to say.
No, but
if you were tapped in, you knew.
Let me finish.
He played for the Oakland Soldiers.
But what I'm saying is that there are people who are getting on private jets, flying across the country to watch Bronny play. The tickets at those games are $100 to $200.
Yes, but see, that's what people don't understand. The access level to all this was different. So with LeBron, it was almost like a myth. Like you were hearing about it. You weren't able to see it all the time.
But that now causes a different level of privilege because that's okay. So
that's what I'm trying to say.
That's why it's different.
That's why I'm saying it's the same. Because and this is why I'm saying it's the same. And you guys are not hearing that. I can hear the dynamics are different to both approaches of it. But what I'm saying is because of the access that we have to Bronny, because you can right now go on YouTube and watch Bronny play. Yes, it may be more intriguing than where you gotta say, I have to see this live. So now it taps into that. Because of the myth of LeBron, people weren't also always intrigued into the fact of, should I invest to go into it, because it was almost a he say, she say thing, right? So you had some people flying across the country to do it, but because of that age to get your name out with social media, what people did was they played for different traveling teams. So what would happen is a lot of times LeBron would come to your area because a traveling team would get him and they would pay for his room and board to come out, take care of his mom, all that, for he can come out and play in a tournament. He would play for like the NorCal or like the Oakland Soldiers or something like that. And that's how people like us got to see LeBron. And so that's how his hype became what it was. Now, yes, with social media, it inflates the money to everything. And yeah, so the money looks bigger, the access looks different. But what I'm saying is it's still the same trajectory for both players, because regardless on what it was, the access of the hype was still buzzing. So if we didn't have social media, but all the magazines that were covering it had him number one. All the people who seen him said, I seen nothing like it. And so, yes, his buzz was high based on word of mouth. Word of mouth is gone because of social media. Right. And so that's the only difference.
Because of all of that, there are decisions, back to how one ended up with the white chick for prom, which still doesn't mean it's forever, it's just prom. And how one ended up with the black chick is simply just because things are different, the decisions can still be different.
They went to the same type of schools.
But
they were around the same type of people.
But no,
Bronny never saw anybody smoke crack.
Right.
Can we just say that?
History is just different.
Akron and California are way
Very
different.
Okay.
You don't know
Which
that.
means their influences are different.
You live in L.A. Skid
But
Row.
come on,
What you talking about?
no, we're
Okay,
not
okay,
gonna do
okay,
that.
Go to
okay,
You can go on social media right
We're
now
not
and see
gonna
somebody
do
smoke
that.
crack. That's what I'm
We
saying.
are
It's
not-
accessibility.
We are
Yeah,
not going
regardless.
to do
You
that.
can go on social media right now
Akron,
and see somebody
Ohio.
smoke crack.
Akron, Ohio is nothing like anywhere, the
I've
valley,
never been.
anywhere in Los Angeles.
Bro,
and
I ain't Oakland,
Not anywhere
California is
Bronny
like
is.
nowhere in the
Bronny
world.
is.
Not
And
anywhere
I'll tell you
Bronny has
something.
been.
You don't think rich people don't smoke crack?
Of course
I'm not
they do.
saying
You
they
don't think?
don't.
No, that's what I'm
I'm
trying
not
to say.
saying that.
No, now
But
y'all
you-
making it,
but
now
we-
y'all making it seem like the people in the slums are the only people who
No.
go
But
and buy
we are-
rocks and smoke
No,
crack.
I'm
But
saying
you're
that he's
saying
probably
that-
a lot
but
more
you're
stupid
saying
Hold
that-
on.
than
You know
Bronny.
that younger people are becoming drug addicts nowadays?
But-
Younger people are doing meth and smoking crack. You don't
But
think that
at
private
the same
school
time,
kids
we are not going
Y'all
to say
crazy.
that
We're not gonna say
Y'all
Akron,
wildin'. Y'all wildin'.
Akron
Y'all wild.
is
He ain't never seen
nowhere.
nobody. He has no experience. He is not a
That's what I'm
person.
saying. You don't
Go
think
ahead.
You don't think he's a little green? No. And that's an honest question. You don't think that he's a little green? You don't think that at his current age he's a little more green than LeBron was? Honestly, no. You really? And I understand what you're saying. Well,
No.
You don't think he's a little bit more green than LeBron was?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. You don't think?
we could go to this next
No.
topic.
You really don't?
No.
We could talk about Michael Blackson.
What happened?
Oh, side chick stuff.
Oh, what happened? He has a
Him
tattoo?
saying,
Of course.
What is failing
it's
himself?
him saying,
He's got that paid for it.
I mean,
him
what
saying
is
he
that
got a
for?
side chick.
He has a side
If
chick?
you with
He has a
somebody,
girlfriend?
I'll let you
First of all, he has a
explain.
girlfriend. Pause.
he has a fiance.
I didn't know that.
money.
I didn't know.
He been-
I don't
been-
like him. I don't think he's funny. I'll be honest.
He's
So I
been
don't follow
groveling.
him.
He's been groveling up to her for years.
That's hilarious.
Money.
They've been breaking up, getting back together. He went on the Breakfast Club and did a
Money.
whole little "please take me back" type of thing, and then we got back together type of interview and all type of stuff. He crazy.
What did Jay-Z say? He says as far as like I'm a billionaire, I'm cute, nigga. Like,
I mean, I guess.
What happened when he had a side chick? What happened? He got beat up in the elevator.
no, because he was reckless with it. That's why you got kicked. Like you got an
Man,
elevator kick.
Make these women sign NDAs.
he's rich.
So what happened? I need to know what happened.
Oh no, he
You know
just
what I'm
said
saying?
that.
If y'all don't
He
sign
just
NDAs,
said he has
sign
a.
NDAs so y'all can cheat in peace.
He just said he has
I'm
a
trying to.
side chick, at least like he sees her at least once a month.
But see, that's not.
sees her
you
once
don't
a
need
month?
You don't need an NDA for that. See, he told on himself. That's when he did. That's
So
what
he
did.
went public and said, "I have a side chick that
Yeah.
I see."
Said
Why
he
would you
needs
say
one.
that out
He needs
loud?
one.
Oh,
He was
needs
on
one.
Shannon Sharp's
I love
podcast.
some
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp, good looking stuff.
That's,
What is she gonna do?
nah, you just ruined my whole chain.
Stupid.
Shannon Sharp's one of my favorite people in
Ooh,
the
wee,
media.
that's a good looking man.
Skip.
What is that speech? You don't got time,
Half his
my
mouth
guy.
is fake.
Listen, you don't even got time,
I,
my guy.
I love
It's
my
fine.
man though. He's
What,
hilarious.
what happened? I need to story.
No, he was just saying that, and I was just like, that's such
Shark Shannon.
like a weird thing to be like. I gotta have a side chick, but nowadays
I get
it seems like
Everybody want to be poly. Everybody want a relationship. I mean, you might as well just not get a side chick and just get a chick that your chick approve of.
Listen,
Exactly.
who's that one comedian that has a
D-Ray.
that-
D-Ray.
D-Ray, yeah,
And his girlfriends are bad.
Oh, they're yes.
Oh my God.
Blessings.
they are bad.
Yes. I would just
And
say
have a
it's like
great dynamic.
when like I said, I have something you want and you have something that I want. It just works out that way. Like when you have that level of money, I don't think people understand. This goes back to the Nick Cannon. Is like
His 10 wives.
like
Not 10 wives. 10
I get to do that. Why? Because I can provide them a resource and a lifestyle that they're not going to be able to etch out without a lot of labor.
Mhm.
So why wouldn't I go and have that level of security?
is keep
So
my
you
waistline,
give
keep the kids.
you give me a kid, a cute kid, and I know that you're strong enough to do to take care of the kid, and I don't have to constantly watch over you while I'm working, and that's what happens. So the side chick thing is kind of a similar thing where I'm going to provide you a lifestyle. My wife is okay, even with like Kevin Hart and all that kind of stuff. I don't think his wife was mad when he cheated. I think it was mad that you made me look stupid.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
don't think it
but-
had to do that.
But it shatters the idea of family for everybody else, and so that's the thing.
It's sad, but at the same time, this is where we're at now with a lot of people. Is that it's like you said, he has an image to uphold. But I think, to be honest, that's why I said she acted like she was mad. Oh my gosh, she's cheating. You don't think she knew he was
But
cheating?
but is
It
that-
just looks stupid. You made me look stupid.
That's what.
That's what it
No,
was.
I found out that you were
That's
cheating.
what
And,
DJ.
Because it's
Or
one
I
thing
may
to
already
know,
know, but
right.
now everybody
but now,
knows
but now
that
I,
you
but now,
cheated.
now I have to
And
deal
I'm-
with it
Yeah,
publicly.
and I
publicly.
want to know everything, but
Yeah.
I but to actually,
Yeah.
you don't think that we were trying to get back to a place where we had more faith in family? Because don't you think that the shattering the idea of family. Not hear me out.
Yeah.
Not only shatters an aspect of relationship that people can have with each other, but at the same time shatters the idea of stability that people can have. Because now not only are we giving we're giving power into stability and you building families and having strong families and building strong kids. And then we're giving power into having multiple baby mothers and having different kids. And like you said, Nick Cannon may say, I have the money to do that, but some people don't see it that way. Some people just see it as overpopulating and like we talked about with the Roe v. Wade thing and access to some people, your legacy is all your name never dying and always, regardless on how effective you were as a parent.
There are acts. There are acts that wanted to maintain that image. Michael Blackson is never going to be a mainstream act that's going to try to maintain that image. Now, if they gave him a big enough bag, you would never hear a word side chick come out of his mouth again. But Kevin Hart was trying to maintain that image because you see he's multi, I sell out stadiums, that kind of. He was trying to maintain that. Yeah, but to be real on
but Nick isn't.
Huh?
No, Nick is.
No. Nick.
Lil Wayne isn't.
No, he isn't. But I'm saying it's like, so there are acts that I think want to uphold and maintain that image, but people, there's just a lot of cameras around. There's a lot of different things around. So Kevin Hart gets found now, let's say with his situation, because it's like there's just a lot of cameras around. There's a lot of people around. So it's back. If this was 1990, I don't think Kevin Hart's situation, it just would have been rumors in the street. Yeah. It wouldn't have been a full-fledged thing, but because there's so many people with cameras and there's so many people reporting.
Unless somebody caught him in that's what paparazzi became.
Yeah.
Think about before social media, we had paparazzi.
No, we had paparazzi, but I could still pay off a paparazzi because he's that's what I'm saying.
He's chasing money.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, so Kevin Hart, The Rock, or other people who have a family image, so some of them are trying to chase it. But
it
like
became harder because the paparazzi started to realize that the story was more valuable than the payoff, and so
so that's why I'm saying
like
I think it's
Diana thing changed a lot.
Yeah,
that's when the story became more valuable than
the payoff. Yeah, and so that's why I think there's certain acts that have that family. Think about this: if Kev on stage. If you ever found out anything about Kev on stage that he was doing everything with the image that that man would be. He might be in jail. Yeah. Like it'd be horrible.
He'd be sitting right here.
He would be
on
the first. He'd be on the first plane smoking here.
Yo, listen, we wouldn't need to pay for those subscribers. Yo, it would be wild. I hope that never happens, but if that ever happens, I'm like, listen. I'm doing 18 shows at Nate's Comedy Club. I'm only getting paid $100 a piece because what's your name's taking all my bread. So it's kind of unfortunate, but like I said, it used to be a thing that everybody was trying to adhere to those values because that was what's important. I hope at some point we get back to that, just because, like I said, I miss.
Look at Will and Jada. What are you talking about? It's gonna be hard to get back. Look at Will and Jada.
Exactly.
They're married, but the stability of the marriage
it looks crazy.
But then we seen him slap somebody else, and so now
it looks crazy.
But look at what that does, though. So it reinforces.
What
the
the instability. Yeah.
Because now people are saying, well, they're married, and they
can't even keep it together. Yeah.
Well, they don't have no stability to his marriage. But look at what he will still do for her.
Yeah.
And so it's like, hey,
it all contributes to toxicity.
A man can still be a man for you, and we can still be out there like this.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's trash.
It reinforces the instability, and so. My thing is like
I hope this pendulum swings back in the other direction.
That's what I'm saying. Is where I feel like the people who influence us. Yeah. And I get you have the right to live your own life. Right. But if you're promoting, because even with the Kevin Hart thing. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't be out there in the streets. You're married.
You should be way more. Yeah, you shouldn't. You're right.
We should not be.
Moralistically, moralistically, I 100% agree with you. But let's keep it a buck.
Listen, I hear what you're saying.
Okay, gotcha.
I hear what you're saying. With the celebrity, it becomes hard.
Yeah.
The temptation becomes stronger. But you are a married man.
100%.
And so, if you want to keep that image, you keep that image.
NDAs.
Yeah.
What are you?
Now he is. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is you keep that image.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I don't even say NDA. Because guess what? There's some women right now that will say, guess what?
Yeah.
F this NDA. I'd rather ruin his image
because I can make money off the book.
That's so ridiculous.
And guess what? If I get the right legal team,
I can fight it.
They may pay off my NDA depending on
turn it into a reality show.
If it's a civil suit, A lawyer will pay the NDA for you to come and testify to what you're going to testify if they know that they're going to win more money off of that.
Yep.
So NDA don't mean nothing. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's a piece of paper that people sign for temporary agreement. But if somebody feels different about it, they can break that NDA with no problem and will take the consequences because the reward is greater.
I will give Will Smith credit, going back here, though, is that you've never heard any substantial evidence. Like I said, if he
I think in the book he's mentioned it, but we never heard anything.
But
prior to
that's what I'm saying. It's like, so
Right.
it's very possible to do it,
There's
but it's
always
like,
rumors.
huh?
Yeah.
There's always gonna be rumors. There's gonna be rumors about me about like I'm like I ain't
But
nobody
the
for
rumor,
nobody.
but you may
Yeah.
tell you why the rumors became a reality and everybody just believed it off of the he say she say before anything, because where the rumors were coming from, they weren't coming from a tabloid. They were coming from people in Hollywood.
Yeah.
The people
Yeah.
who shared spaces with these people
Yeah.
were where these stories were coming from. So we have no choice
It was like, yo.
but to believe them.
Like, yo, we saw him hugged up with so and so.
So let me tell you this. In 2017, I think, or 18, I don't pay attention to nothing that they do. I don't watch Red Table Talk. I don't do nothing. I don't
like that,
pay attention to
right.
anything, because I think like some of their stuff was just it doesn't fit my taste.
Right.
How did I know that she was messing with Homeboy in like 2018? Because you were just reckless with it. And like I said, people don't care about the image so much anymore. And like I said, I hope the pendulum swings back because it would be good for society. Because I literally at church today, and there was a guy, and he was talking about that. He was like a migrant worker. He was talking his testimony and story and stuff like that. But he was talking about all the TV shows that influenced the way that he thought that it was supposed to be in America.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I wish that we had, because like my son and I, we watch sitcoms, and we watch sitcoms very specifically because, like, I want you to be able to see your mom and I. We created as much as we could an image of
The parody of life.
Yeah. But then it's like, now I want you to be able to see this. I take you around other married folks because, like I said, I want you guys to see. I want you to see the positivity. So in a moralistic and good for the world, I want to see that. But it's like, I don't know what it's going to take to make the pendulum swing back to make people feel like it felt good listening to Alicia Keys' Unbreakable and being able to list off those black couples, which half remain together.
Well, what the problem
Yeah.
is that we tapped into the reality of the TV shows, right?
Yeah.
Even though they weren't real.
They weren't real, yeah.
Right? So you see a family, you
Yeah.
see the Cosbys,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see all that, right? And then what happens is these people have real lives, and then they make mistakes in their real lives, and then
Yeah.
it diffutes the character that they were on.
They were
screen.
on the show. And there's so
so
much more visibility
yes.
with everything, yeah.
So at one
Yeah.
point you had a part of America that was like, we want to raise our families like that, right?
Yeah.
And then you had a younger generation that's seen that.
Yeah.
And then the younger generation got to see the flaw in that person. And then they were like, well, everybody wanted us to be like that, but that was just a character. And it breaks the ideal of reality for them.
Yeah.
So when that happens,
But it still was something that it was still so close. It was still close enough, and that's what I'm saying. It's almost like we could eat everything macros, Atkins diet, and everything else like that. But that still was cool because it still gave us, like, when I watched Sanford and Son or I watched Andy Griffith's show and all that kind of stuff. Though I know it's 100% fake, it's like that was still cool to see something good.
Right.
yes,
We don't see anything
but-
good
but like
anymore.
Amber,
Yeah.
So like Bill Cosby, right? We
Yeah.
see the Huxtables, right? You feel good about that, and then you hear about all the stuff that happens in it. Does that change the visibility that you have for the character you seen him play as the Huxtable, knowing that he was like this monster behind the closed doors?
I'm gonna be honest. I liked the Huxtables. I liked the Cosby Show. If it was to air, would I watch the reruns? I mean, if it was on anything else, I mean, now that I'm older, it's not. You know.
I mean, of course, yeah. But
Did everything he did it damage the way I look at him, which is interesting. I'm just.
But let's
I guess
say,
I didn't pay
would you
enough
let your daughter watch it though?
Yeah, and simply because
The image. Of
because
Cosby.
of the
Okay, and this is what
the
I'm
image
and this
of
is what
the
I
show,
talk about. Yeah.
and because he's not the character.
He's
You know
not
what
that.
I'm
That's what I'm saying.
And
It's
really,
its
but
own
it's
story.
actually really interesting to me
Yeah.
because we'll give Cosby a pass, but we won't give like R. Kelly a pass.
Well,
Oh,
And
you
it's
don't talk
literally
about
the
me.
same-
I-
no, listen,
well, I
I
think it's
don't.
different. Different too.
I agree because of the children.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it's-
And the image is just different. So like, no, he's a family.
There's a bunch of
and-
other shows too. There's like
Well,
Step by
no,
Step.
we
There's
will
other
never
things.
be-
Yeah.
The
Even if she
demographic that
hears
he
about
talked
it,
to was
it's
different too,
different,
because
right.
Yeah.
because regardless of like R. Kelly did or whatnot, like there's a lot of black people who didn't like Bill Cosby.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
and
what
he
he
was
portrayed
very,
wasn't real,
he
even
was
though
very
it was
well,
real for some of
well,
us.
not even the Cosby Show.
Right.
When he spoke,
He
when
was
he
putting
spoke,
people
he
down.
was
It's condescending.
Very critical of black
Yeah,
people.
very condescending a lot of
Very,
times. Yeah.
very critical.
Yeah.
And so black people didn't like Bill Cosby for how he judged black
But
people.
sometimes judgment brings change.
It-
Not all the time.
it was
and so I
kinda
came
like-
in because I don't really remember
Well,
that
yeah.
too much, and probably because I'm
Well,
young.
he was-
But sometimes condescending. If I say it enough,
Now,
it might
it
make
was
you change
kinda
I,
your behavior.
I have his book. I have one of the books he wrote. And some of the points that he was trying to make were very good points.
I believe that.
Like he was trying to say, at one point in America, a man made it, regardless on what his economic scale was, he wore slacks
Right.
and a
Made a
button-up
point
shirt.
towards that.
And it was just, that was regular attire
Right.
for a man. And then he was talking about how now the baggy jeans and
agree.
men sagging and grown men like 30 and all
Right.
that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he talked about that. And so I think a lot of people looked at fashion as a way of expressing themselves
Right.
Yeah.
at this time in history, and he was so critical of that people felt like because he's critical of this, he's critical of us. Instead, he was just critical of the presentation of black people because he wanted us to be perceived
Better.
differently than what we were.
Right.
And so it was very.
Well, I don't
And,
think.
and
I think
some
he
people
didn't.
and some people probably read it and got offended, and some people probably read it and changed their behavior.
Well,
and that's why I said I think some condescending and some of that stuff is good because even though it might have offended you, it didn't offend you. And if it touched enough people to bring enough of a change,
But
swing
that
the pendulum.
anything that y'all
And
just
so
said.
even so even back to the original point of same thing. So just because him talking about the side chick here might offend one person, it's offensive. If we could start bringing back the image of the happy marriages or start bringing back the images, it can swing it the other way because it might
and I'm
be
just
offensive
I don't
to
know what's
one,
going to take to
but
do that, but I hope it does, just because, like I said, I'm tired of hearing about this being celebrated because for a lot of people are very simple. They're not very complex. Like you and I can watch a Huxtable show and still laugh at the points or whatever like that, even knowing the
what
separation
happened
of
to
character.
Bill Cosby.
Right.
And I can show it to my son and be happy with it. But there's a lot of
That's his
people who are like,
idea.
I'm not even going to show that to my son or daughter because
I can
of
listen
whatever.
to an R. Kelly song and
Oh,
still be
it's a
fine.
remix
I
to
can
it.
still
Sorry,
step
I'm
in the
not
name
gonna
of love.
I can't.
I can
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
because I can separate his
Art.
actions
Yeah.
from the artist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't unless you're saying that his art is supposed to be speaking to children, which I do not believe.
I don't believe that's the case.
because I didn't
Yeah.
believe he made music for
And he
children.
used to write for Kiki White. He wrote for everybody.
And,
Yeah.
and be real. There's actually, I
Yo, I
actually did-
feel like you're going
no,
somewhere.
no, yeah. I actually just did this study, right? And it was about the word pedophilia, right? And it's
He's about
actually
to
a
go
certain
deep.
age group, right? It's a certain age group. It's a certain predisposed to like puberty or something like that. There's different. There's different.
There's levels to this,
different
yeah.
levels of it, right? So
Yeah.
he's like technically
Yeah.
not even a pedophile. He's like a edophile or something like
adult.
that, or
Well, no,
but
because-
people don't explain it. No. People don't
it's
explain it
different,
because
right.
if you try to,
I know
explain
what you mean, but it
Because
sounds
sounds
wild.
like-
Because
It sounds wild.
Right.
No, I understand because
Right.
I remember Nick Cannon specifically talked about. He's like, if you were ever around him, and he's like, this nigga couldn't read. Like his mental level was.
Right.
I used to meet guys who would literally like, I'm like, why does he always talk to younger girls? And it wasn't like I'm trying to prey on them. But it's
No,
like
his
your
mental capacity
your
was
mental
only to a
capacity
younger girl.
was more on par with her.
That's all he could entertain.
Yeah.
He couldn't entertain a girl
Because I was like, because it was like your brain wasn't, and like I said, no taking over that, but like going back to what he's saying, like even with side chicks, is that there's a lot of people who literally like they live by that and they live by what they hear from people. And America's created our brains to do that, and I think that's why I said I agree with you 100% that I wish we could
think this-
swing back.
we've been conditioned to not.
Side chick is such a common word now.
But
It's
here's the
weird.
thing.
Yeah.
That's a social media thing, and I'm probably have people mad at me even still because if you think about it, it's not that it's new.
No, it's not
Grandpas
new.
Grandpas had
But it wasn't talked about.
right, and that's
okay.
what it was. Had side families and weekend families. It's not like it's new. This is definitely.
called
But
the
when
house
it's
and,
popular-
hello? Who's this?
It's
Click.
just more.
Who's that wrong number, baby?
Mom-
But when did
The
everybody
mom
get
just
LLCs?
the
When
mom-
did everybody get LLCs though? Everybody got
Just like
LLC,
20
LLC,
for
LLC. Now there are girls who are literally thinking, side chick's not too bad of a situation.
Yeah.
I can kind of do my
But
thing
here's
and
the
I can
thing,
do this.
See
and
now,
here's the
look,
thing,
now
and
Exactly.
Now they're
But
gonna be.
back in the day, that was the thing. First of all, a lot of
He
your
got
grandmas
contract
knew
marriages.
that
It's gonna be
you-
contract.
Well,
A lot of your
I
grandmas
can
and
stop
great
playing.
grandmas and great
what it
grandmas
was,
knew that
the
they were the
mom,
main
the
chick.
mom didn't go
They
on the
just
other
didn't
side
talk
of
about
town The mom didn't go
They
to
just
a certain
knew.
part
because
of
she would
town
run into
because she would run
the other-
into.
yeah.
Yep.
And we don't
and
want
that's how
smoke.
come I'm just
Yep.
like, so
But
it's
now
not
there are
that
people
she
who are
knew.
making that decision off
It's
rip.
just
I don't even
more
want to be a wife.
Yes.
I didn't even think
So
about
that's
being
the
a wife.
difference.
Yep.
And
Amber's
that's
right.
because social media has
Amber's
made it
right.
more openly talked about. If you want a side chick, that's why I said
Amber's right.
Yeah.
That's your prerogative. And not that I'm saying that cheating is okay. I don't
No.
necessarily
Yeah.
think that cheating is okay.
I get you.
I don't think
feel
it's
like
good.
you should work in the boundaries of your relationship. If that's something that you and your wife have established, then cool. If it's not, then cool. You need to establish those boundaries in your relationship and move accordingly. Especially since polygamy is becoming more popular. Side chick, especially when you're a celebrity and it's being thrown at you differently.
can I ask you a
if this is the
question?
boundary that's set
Yeah.
up for your relationship, then stay within the boundary. But if she's okay with that, then mind your business and quit putting it over the airway. Just because, like I said, this isn't like it's a new thing.
Can
Yeah,
I
and
ask? Can I ask?
I-
I have a
I-
question though for both of y'all. I have a question for both of y'all.
So I think what
Yeah.
it is people have got desensitized to the embarrassment
And
because
that's what it is.
I agree,
what-
I agree.
no, because
Social media
because
has
what
messed up our
what
shame.
Amber's
Ain't no
saying is
shame in
completely
nothing.
right because you used to didn't find out that
Right.
your daddy had another family until the funeral.
Yes.
Like that's usually when you
Yeah.
found
And that's
out.
what it
You
is.
feel
That's-
me?
that's
and that's
right.
because it was kept a secret for so long. And guess what? Your daddy could even leave.
Because
And
of
you
weekends.
never even known that he would. You never even. He say he going to the store and he leave, and that's because he probably wanted to be with his other family or whatever.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo. And you would never be able to know. He could be right around the corner. You never even
Never even
know.
knew. Never
This
knew.
isn't like it's not a
But
new
social
thing.
media
It's taking
keeps
the
a
shame.
tab on
And-
everybody.
And I'm not saying it's a new thing,
Yeah.
but I'm saying is that ideas. Let me ask a question. Ideas, are they not the seeds of action? Ideas. So if I keep on planting the idea, oh, you should do this or you should do this. Like we have all these courses
Yeah,
over here how to
if
do
you
all that.
hear
Okay.
something enough.
So then my thing is saying is that I literally have been on.
I've all them girls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, stop playing. But it's like going back to medical assisting.
Yeah.
Every girl, get off your behind and become a medical
CNA,
assistant.
now all the registered
CNA, all CNAs. Okay,
All
Yeah,
registered
yeah,
CNAs and RNs.
barbers,
Yeah.
barbers. When
Yeah,
that
that's
seed
what
is
you do.
planted, and I think that's the thing that's scary.
I used to sell drugs, but now I'm an RN.
No, you're
That's
okay. Okay, so now that being the case, is that like you said, side chicks have always existed, but now you have people when you plant a seed in the idea, and this is the reason why I personally, like I said, I hope the pendulum swings. Is that it's like when you keep on planting the idea, we might pass go, not collect the $200, where it's like everybody wants to be. At one point, people wanted to be wives.
Right.
There are a lot of girls today who are bypassing that because the seed has been planting that. It's like, why have the responsibility of doing this? I could just go straight to being this chick here, and I'm going to be bothered with him all the time. He can come over here, do what he needs to do, and then after that, he can be gone. I can do my own
There's
thing.
people now who would rather just live together
And
never even get married.
because the
Because you're
seed.
handling business.
But the thing,
I got a
because
chick right now that blocked me
yeah,
That's hilarious. Why?
because I told her, I said, hey, Chase, I'm not trying to be a career boyfriend. I'm sorry.
Not a
You know what I'm
career
saying?
Yeah.
No,
it's
seriously.
the truth. It's a fact.
Seriously,
Sounds crazy, but it's the
like
same
with
thing.
I'm just not. That's not. I'm too old to be a career boyfriend. I'm not trying to do this. I'm not trying to do the come overs. I'm trying
Yeah.
unless we got a plan on something. Like I can't do this. No
It
more.
doesn't make
Woo,
sense.
woo,
Yeah,
woo,
to me,
woo.
yeah.
She just cussed me out. Woo, 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 and I can't believe you. And all I said, I don't even know what you're talking about because you
Isn't
know,
that
you're
nuts?
trying to ask me to come over here and sleep with you, and I'm trying to tell you, hey, Chase, if unless we're going to be doing something more than this, I'm not
Do
doing
you
it.
Not being
think-
a career boyfriend, as in you don't want to do
I don't want to
something-
just keep. I don't want to be the
What,
dude.
did you have marriage in mind, or because
Yeah,
you
like,
wanted to
what
be-
are we
Okay.
talking
Do
about?
you
I'm
think
trying
20
to
years
understand.
ago we
You're
would have
good.
been having this conversation with a woman said she wanted you to be essentially she wanted you to be a career boy.
I had this conversation
But
with 10 years ago, 15 years ago with a girl, and I wasn't ready, and that
Well,
was
no,
with
you
it.
weren't ready, but she's starting
Exactly.
already.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's
The
crazy.
pendulum has-
Yeah, it's a
you know
swung,
what I'm
and
saying?
exactly,
It's
that's what I'm saying.
Because she was ready. At one point, a female
It
was
used to
ready,
be
and I
the female
wasn't.
was ready and you weren't.
And then now that I am, the females aren't.
I remember, and that's what I'm saying is that, but that
And
seed
they're
was
my age
planted.
too.
Exactly. and
Like
the-
this is not like these are young girls.
exactly.
These
And
are
the-
I
like
think
you know
because-
that seed was
35,
planted.
36, 37
I
year
think
olds.
because they see
Because they ain't seen healthy marriage.
they see well no they don't
That's
see
part of-
yeah they
that's a
don't
great
see the
part of
healthy ones, and also we've been pitched the marriage on TV was not what they were really living in real life,
Correct.
and so it was just like, well, hey, like
And
you,
that's, like I said, they didn't see healthy marriage. So yes, that's right.
Just
So if I
one.
see this on TV, but then I'm looking at my home, and my home don't look like that. That now kind of
and none of our homes
look
look
like-
like a lot of our
Yeah,
homes didn't look
Nobody
like that.
understood the foundation for that type of marriage,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
And so one thing is like what I was trying to explain
Yeah.
to this young lady. Obviously, mentally, I'm not in the right spot to be dealing with you like this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so what I try to tell people is the reason why trajectory for relationship is the way it is because one, man hasn't got mentally right. You know what I'm saying?
I could give it
So
to
if you're not 100% right, how are you able to take care of anything else under you, right?
Yeah.
Everything else under you goes to shit. The snake rots from the head, the fish rots from the head on down, right? And so it starts from the top. And so like I would say, hey, I can't, like I got to get myself right. You know what I'm saying? I got to get focused on the right things. I got to get, like my mind is everywhere. I'm focused on all the options. I need to stop focusing on all that. I need to focus on the right things. And I'm not telling you to go away. I'm just telling you while you're here, we can't operate like this until I get into the right spot, right mindset. You know what I'm saying? Which is not respected nowadays. I guess it's more of if you can't give it to me now, then don't give it to me at all.
We're very disposable.
Yeah, no, I got a good chick who blocked me because I told her, hey, since my week is busy, I got a busy week. Guess what? My next Wednesday opens up. If you're free next Wednesday, I'm good with you. I guess that didn't work with her. So
Really?
yeah.
Even if you talk to me, I mean,
Part
Yes,
of it.
You keep on acting like people are reasonable. They're not.
Yeah, no.
They're not.
I got to this point where I was like, you know what? Maybe if I communicated very clearly.
It doesn't matter.
No, you better.
It doesn't
you better
matter.
Just keep it muddy. You better keep it muddy.
Keep it muddy.
Keep it muddy.
It's
Say-
if you on some real stuff.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it was the saddest thing in the Bible. It says as far as
done,
like
dude.
it says
I'm done.
envy
I'm
not.
sorry. I think
It
I'm
says
done.
envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways.
No, I'm saying.
But when you're dealing with a toxic person, you have to choose oppressor's ways. Like I have to play in games of manipulation in order to deal with an
I'm not
unhealthy
with it.
person.
That's why.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not with it
that's why-
either.
That's why I'd rather be by myself.
And that's what I'm
man.
saying. Is like so. There's
I
such
can't do it.
the level of people who are qualified.
No, I'm not ever breaking up with him. This dating thing's
No, it's what did they say? Casamigos and tragedy. That's all it's out here. You
said
stay.
Casamigos
Listen,
and
that's what they said is out here.
It's well, but I
Marv,
think part
please.
of it also is people
I'm not doing
like
this
with the
again.
situation with Marv. She probably thought, even though he's being 100% honest and saying, "Hey,"
She thought I was lying.
and what? And,
She thought I was.
She thought all niggas
I
was like that.
She thought I was pushing her away for another woman.
Yeah, of
Exactly.
course.
Exactly. Because she probably thought because she's seen other situations where people were like, well, maybe I'll get to you next week because I got this thing going on this week. And you were like, no, this is this is
my
real
actual
life.
schedule. Right.
And work
Yes.
is, I'm doing a lot of work,
A lot.
but I would like to go out with you. If you said, and you said it sincerely, I would like to go out with you next week. You put a date on it. Her, in that moment, she chose either to believe you
Or not.
or not. And 9 times out of 10.
Her mind, I believe she was thinking, oh, this nigga got hella dates lined up
Yep.
until next Wednesday.
Yep.
You remember the memes that all the memes that they have was like, well, my girlfriend thinks when I be walking out the door.
And in reality, it was like, because when I
don't
realized that she just did it, I was like, hold up. And it just like, bloom. Oh, yeah, she think
In-
you got
in reality-
Yeah,
just
you
back
think
it
you
up.
got-
It's
here.
like texting her
Piggybacking on
throughout
the
the
world.
day, occasionally
And what
throughout
it,
the
and
week.
reality
like, you
it
still
was,
gotta talk
and
to her.
what it reality
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it was like all my important bills were at this time, and I just didn't want to take anybody out at that time.
Gas is
But I
$5 a
didn't
gallon. Why
but
do
I
they think we all sell
yeah,
drugs?
But I didn't want
Throughout the
to.
week.
But I know people like make when you try to say money an issue and stuff like that. I know sometimes people make that issue, so I didn't want to be like,
No,
oh,
it's
I
not
don't
her
wanna-
business,
yeah.
to be honest.
It's none of
Like,
my,
it's not.
it is none of her business,
Not yet.
and so I didn't want to be able exactly, and so I didn't want to be able to go all deep into it. I feel like that was too much to expose, and so I was just like, hey,
Because you would have got called a broke nigga if that's what happened. Exactly.
you know what
So what I'm saying, you
Even
can't
though
win
it
for
was-
losing.
Even though my money was going towards responsible stuff.
It does,
Yeah.
like I said, and that's the issue.
I'm
And
not,
that's the issue.
tricking off.
Okay, listen, Cameron, you guys said this when I wasn't here one time. I was like, yo, Cameron, that's the dude.
Yeah, it's
Listen,
that time.
Yeah.
as much as, and I made a joke about this, I said, I tried to do what I was supposed to do, and Amber knows my history. I was like,
No,
and,
we can wrap up.
oh yeah, we're about to wrap up. I was just gonna say this last
Stay
part.
right there. We're about to wrap
Oh yeah,
up.
right there. Yeah, I was like, I did what I was supposed to do, but because of what the market was, and of course, I didn't realize how fast things were changing. We just talked about Netflix. Netflix is a multi-billion-dollar company. You could have hired researchers, but I'm an individual lone person, just like you were an individual lone person. And it's like I'm trying to navigate around a place with traditional values when a lot of people don't possess
Nobody
traditional
knows.
values.
And which is the craziest thing to me. I don't understand. And this, and again,
Yeah.
I'm sure the women on the podcast hate me, but I don't understand how you can demand a traditional man when you refuse to be a traditional woman,
Well,
or how you want I want my man to do all of this, like grandpas used to do, but then you want to be
Ask
this
a woman to
modern
slave.
life. I don't
Ask a woman.
understand.
They said ask a
No.
woman what she wants in a man, and she's gonna describe a slave. That's
No,
what she
no,
said.
I don't
and
understand
I'll
that.
tell you one thing before
Yeah.
we get ready to go.
Yeah.
What I realized
Yeah.
that you're realizing too
Yeah.
is you got into a relationship that you didn't think you were going to get out of.
I was hoping that.
No,
Yeah,
no, no.
exactly. Yeah.
And when you exited that,
Yeah.
the dating game changed. And you weren't built for it.
I'm still not built for it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you came from an era where it didn't even exist.
It didn't even exist, and it's
so
changing so fast.
It didn't exist.
Yeah.
And you got married.
Yeah.
And then that ended.
Yeah.
And now a whole new way of dating exists.
Like
and now
it's like
you're
English as a second language.
Exactly.
I'm trying to be out here in
now
the
you're
streets.
trying to navigate through it. And I realized
Yeah.
that while I was way too deep into it, I was like, damn. I'm not even built
I ain't
for
built for this.
I'm not built for this.
Yeah.
Even though I keep trying, I'm not built for this because the way I was built to meet people. It's funny. I was at Dave and Buster's yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was with my guys, and we're sitting there talking, and you know the cute waitresses are walking by, and it's just like he's like, man. He's like, you should talk to her. And I was like, I don't think life is built for this now.
I don't even know. Yeah.
If people aren't in front of a phone, it's hard for you to just like.
That sucks. Because you would think dating especially within our age bracket.
I told y'all, a girl ran
like,
away from me before I just said hi to her. I didn't even walk up to her and say, hey, maybe she just ran to her.
I think the financial situation is going to start throwing people into more reality, but at the same time, I don't know because, like I said, it's so new.
Not women. Because what women do when they get in tougher financial realities, they look for men who have better financial situations.
But it's the thing. But if we, but it's the thing. But
That's
now when things are getting tight, because literally they've shown it's gotten tight for everybody. I'm hoping, like I said, this is all hope.
They step their game up.
Like I said,
they start.
They might. No, I'm sure they will.
Start swallowing and all that.
Oh. Are we about to end on that one?
We end on
wow.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another Black Pew
Yo.
podcast.
That's funny.
We will see y'all next week. Peace.
All right,
When I tell